Well, yeah, but I mean, like, stuff like nukes and shit like it happen, you like never even know it's coming, like things like that.
The major three are like China, Russia, United States.
Yeah.
Yes.
I also wonder like how many countries have them and just don't report it.
I was looking at a chart just now of like how many nukes each country owns, and it was China was like 4th place. I was like, I don't know if I believe that.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I don't even think the U.S. has this. I think the U.S. has more than.
How many
letting
do we
on.
have?
France has more than China. On this other graph, China has more than France, but it's not by much.
Yeah, it's
On
probably
this other
because they're
graph, France has more than China.
it's probably because they're all lying.
Honestly, though, you don't. That's a really.
I've never thought about that before. But I'm John.
I'm Afonso.
And I'm Darren.
Welcome to the Scatcast. We don't know either, and oh boy, do we not know knowing.
Yeah,
Anyways,
you don't. Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a fucking stroke, dude. I want Xans now. We were just like, for those who
What?
don't know, we were talking about drugs right before we started recording, and like
So you just started this by saying you want
I want Xans.
drugs.
Not just drugs, Xans, because I've never had Xans.
Do you know what they do?
They mellow you out.
They're not that fun.
Why are they not that fun?
They're just not. I've taken them for procedures. Like I've taken like Xanax, but I took like its cousin, like Ativan.
Well, you took his cousin. You know, you never want to fuck the cousin. You want to fuck the main.
Lorazepam, alprazolam, they're the same fucking thing. I mean,
What the fuck?
alprazolam is
so fucking mad. This is why I like pharmacists are fucking magicians. But they be saying so random.
alprazolam is Xanax.
Yeah, I knew that.
Sound like fucking Adventure Time characters or some shit. What the hell?
Yowza or some shit like.
Alprazolam. Like, what the fuck?
Okay, but you took his cousin. I think Xans would be a good investment to make in my repertoire of experiences as a young adolescent mind trying to find its way in the world. I've had so many different like psychedelics. I need like a hard.
Xanax is not hard.
I need a mild reset.
I don't know. You could try like horse tranquilizers.
I don't want to do
That'd probably
drink.
work.
I'm like I've seen the zombie people. That just sounds
mean,
like
Be a
definitely
real
a
man
reset.
and get testosterone.
Huh?
Be a real man and get testosterone.
Would that okay? Actually, weird question. Because testosterone is that also a growth hormone, or is it strictly just like a male enhance? Like, could you make yourself taller, bigger, all those extra?
Probably.
Because I know like you can give your kids growth hormones, and they can be freakishly.
There's other stuff for that.
Oh, okay.
What happens if like a grown man takes growth hormones?
They get
Older quicker, maybe.
The fuck?
Because when you're doing a kid, you're basically just pumping them from like the basically when their bones are like disconnected or reformed. You're basically saying, hey, grow juice. You're basically just spraying them with grow juice.
well, also their
Yeah.
body's already flooded with stuff to make them grow, so
Yeah.
you're just like enhancing that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even think I've dispensed like growth hormone. I mean, unless like you count testosterone, which
I'll try
like,
it out for you if you
people
want.
with low testosterone levels do take to just exist and feel good. But
oh, low testosterone makes you feel sad,
yeah, it makes you just feel shitty as like a guy.
dude. Maybe I have low testosterone.
Yeah, I
you're
know. You do.
depressed.
You definitely do, pal.
Wait, so if women have low estrogen, does that make them depressed, or do they have to have low testosterone as well? Does that like? Is
Well,
there,
it's normal for women to have low testosterone.
okay, I was
so-
like, is there a correlation? So if they have low estrogen,
Whenever I've seen a woman take testosterone or get a prescription for testosterone, it's because they're transitioning.
okay. So again, I guess would low estrogen be their equivalent of low testosterone
Yeah.
in a man? Okay.
Yeah, because a lot of them get like synthetic estrogen supplements.
Oh.
People who have those problems. So I mean, it's like the same thing but inversed.
Wow.
Also, estrogen can be given as a pill, but testosterone can't. It has to be injected or
Is there a
gel.
reason why?
I don't know. There probably is, but I don't know.
I just know there's estrogen in like plastics and stuff. So I feel like estrogen's just easier or more naturally.
Estrogen's
occurring.
in plastic?
Yeah, BPA is it gives you.
It gets converted into estrogen
Yeah.
or some shit in your body.
What the
Something
fuck?
like that.
Yeah.
But like so like when you heat up plastic, it'll put like BPA in like the water. So
Yeah.
like if you were to have this
Or
like in a hot
styrofoam.
car
So if you microwave your food in like
or like
styrofoam,
a plastic bottle.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's why people say not to do that.
Yes, that's exactly why. Because you're technically not
plastic.
only like, if you do it as a young kid, it can make your dick small and like stunt your growth.
Dude.
If you do it as an adult, high estrogen in men is not usually good. It gives you man boobs, gives you middies.
High
That's
testosterone
crazy.
actually is more likely to give you man boobs.
Oh wait, like steroids and shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well,
yeah.
testosterone.
yeah.
Yeah. Gynecomastia.
What?
That's what the condition is called.
Big man
It's
boobs.
when men get titties.
Why is it called gynemocastia?
Well, gyna sounds like some gynecology
Yeah,
vagina
which is a
shit.
vagina doctor.
Yeah. Mastia, mass is like chewing. So I don't like pussy mouth. I don't.
Masticate.
Yeah, I was trying to work it out.
Like pussy mouth, and that makes you grow boobs for some reason. Okay.
Yeah. Because estrogen, right? You know, it's extra estrogen. That's pussy mouth, I think. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. They come up with weird ass words. Like, you know what Helminth means?
No.
I never heard that.
Helminth.
Oh, Helminth. Yes.
Yeah,
that's not
worm.
Healthcare priorities didn't make that. That's what they used to call it.
No. I'm just saying, like, they have, like, they just science words. They just kind of pick some shit and be like, hey.
Well, it's because a lot of it derives from Latin. That's why.
Man, fuck the Italians. Not really, though, but y'all made some good pizza. But, like, fuck the Italians.
You know what? Italian? No, fuck Italians. They're so fucking fake. I was in a museum like a couple weeks ago when I was in Florida, right? And then did you know that spaghetti like was a staple in China like 2,000 years before it even made its way to Italy?
You're bullshitting.
What?
You're
Yes.
actually bullshitting,
Like
and I don't
what we
like
know
that.
as spaghetti, but minus the tomato sauce, obviously, because that's a new world.
Oh, they don't count.
So, like, lo
Then it doesn't
mein
count.
and meat
What if
was...
it, like,
They just
what,
had noodles.
Yeah,
what do you mean?
yeah,
what
lo
about like
mein.
Alfredo, like cheese sauce? That's spaghetti.
I don't count that as spaghetti.
Spaghetti has always been red marinara for me. Alfredo is a different beast.
You're saying they invented noodles.
Alfredo spaghetti. That's what it's called.
Never heard of Alfredo. I've heard Alfredo pasta.
Yeah, you have to add the fucking prefix to it.
Whatever. It's essentially spaghetti noodles, right? And then they had that, like, too. That they had pizza before the Italians did because they instead of using tomatoes, they make, like, you know, like, you ever had like a bean
Yeah, bean
based
paste.
pizza?
Yeah.
That's what the Chinese had.
Okay.
They're kind of based. I fucks with it.
Yeah, they had that 2,000 years, and then like 2,000 years later, this motherfucker Marco Polo goes back to China, brings stuff over, and then at the same time they're bringing in tomatoes. So we're like, oh, let's make I don't know. Fake as hell.
Oh my god!
I wouldn't
dude.
count the spaghetti thing. That doesn't count. If you
That
don't have
doesn't count.
I'll
tomatoes,
give
that
him
doesn't
pizza
count.
though. I'll give him pizza.
I'll give him pizza.
I'll give him pizza because like there's like hot sauce based pizza, there's barbecue sauce. Because at that point you're starting to nitty gritty pizza.
Spaghetti.
Yeah, spaghetti. That is a true Italian staple. That and the hands.
That and the I was gonna say French fries, but
You just named a whole
Are
different.
those American?
we said
Yes,
French fries American?
sadly.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Modern pizza is also American. It's
Italian
not like,
immigrants.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, their pizzas were like the
Margaritas.
the margarita type pizza where had like the fresh mozzarella and everything on it.
Those are Italian, or were those also American?
Italian.
Those were Italian.
Okay, yeah, I mean,
like
yeah.
those are the type that they had over there.
Yeah.
We're the ones who just made it greasy, fat, cheese,
Awesome.
covered
Good,
sex. Even the burgers, like burger was German.
German immigrants. It's American.
It was German immigrants. Okay, I remember. Okay, it's German.
Yeah, hamburger.
That's why it's called a burger, because it was made by the hamburgers.
But yeah, I remember it was a German
Wait,
name.
Hamburg's German?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
German name.
Dude, I thought they were from a place called Hamburg. Wait, is that in Germany? Yo,
Probably.
that's crazy.
Could you realistically ever
Hot dogs are German too, but they had to rename them.
Rouse, whatever the
Yeah,
fuck.
they renamed them hot dogs during World War One.
Wiener Schnitzel.
Yeah, it was something like that before World War One.
I think it is literally Wiener Schnitzel, is
Yeah,
it not?
and so I think so. but then after World War One, or during World War One, a lot of German people changed their names to British names. So a lot of like British people or like British Americans, or people who. But Americans who think they are English will take DNA tests and they're like, oh, I'm actually like 60% German.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, they renamed Wiener Schnitzels or whatever the fuck to hot dogs. And
It's a better name.
Yeah, sauerkraut for a while. They called it Liberty cabbage during the war, but that didn't stick.
That's fucking lame. I
That
hate
sounds
that.
gay as hell. Who
Liberty
the fuck
cabbage.
was it? Pass the the LC, yo.
When did they start calling French fries freedom fries and shit? Y'all remember that?
When the
I
fuck
don't
did we
remember
call
that.
them freedom fries?
That was like a recent thing, like 10 years
Recent?
ago.
No,
Yeah.
you're bullshitting.
No, I forget who
There's
it was.
no way in
I
hell
forget
we-
who it was. Someone was like, all right, guys, from this day henceforth,
They're trolling.
French fries are now
trolling.
called freedom fries in honor of America.
freedom.
It was like the same vibe as like the Gulf of America type thing.
Some random nigga in 2003 was politically motivated renaming of French fries
Was
in
it
the United
George
States.
Bush? He was the only one running
Some
for
random
president
nigga
at
from
the
North
time.
Carolina.
The thought of George Bush standing there like...
Freedom fries.
Remember when Fox News did a story on Barack Obama because he ate his, what was it, hot dogs or burgers, something like that, with mustard and not ketchup?
I eat mine with mustard. Why is that news?
They made like a huge story about it.
Can you
I'm trying to
explain
find
me
it.
why you're wrong?
I'm just imagining George Bush like sitting in the fucking like rubble of 9/11 going, there's only one way to fight back against this.
Freedom fries.
Put them in the bag.
He used Dijon mustard on his burger.
Dijon mustard's a little weird.
Instead of using Heinz, he used Dijon.
Condiment. Special condiment.
Wait, this is a meme.
Just your basic cheddar cheeseburger, medium well. I just want mustard, no ketchup. If you got like a spicy mustard or something like that, or a Dijon mustard, something like that, Dijon mustard, something like that.
It's the white guy. Was that Biden? That's not Biden, right?
That is
It
Biden.
could be. Yes, it is
That's
Biden. That is
Biden.
Biden. You know, he was vice president.
Biden made the face when he said spicy.
Yeah. Like,
Biden can't handle none of that Dijon mustard, bro.
All right, I hope you enjoyed that fancy burger, Mr. President.
fancy? Niggas can't have Dijon no more.
He said that with such fucking vitriol.
I hope you enjoyed that fancy burger.
Mr. President. People are so catty. Like, why is the news so catty? It's like,
they always gotta have like something to complain about. That's just funny
like,
as fuck,
it's
dude. God damn.
They do. Thank you for sharing that. That was really silly.
Did y'all see, like, I guess just speaking of the news in general, did you see the thing recently where they like cloned a direwolf?
Yes, I did.
I heard it wasn't a real
Remus.
one though.
Yeah, so basically they just like added direwolf DNA into
Like what they did with
wolves.
the woolly mammoth thing, they made a woolly mammoth just shoving some woolly
No,
mammoth
they
DNA
didn't.
into
They
an
made a
element.
woolly mammoth meatball.
Yeah,
Why the fuck would they do that?
because they wanted to know what that shit would taste like, dude. I want to know what that shit would taste like. You're telling me if you got the opportunity for like, I don't know, like, if you could pay like $50 to have like a woolly mammoth meatball, would you do it? I would.
Yeah.
Like would it be hairy?
Why the fuck would it be hairy?
when you eat a hamburger, does it have the hair of the cow?
It's just got like the horns.
No, okay. I misunderstood.
I'm disappointed. It's not going.
It's like just because you grow a meatball doesn't mean it's gonna grow the fucking trunk with
Wait,
it.
you're paying me to condone in the killing of an already. You brought this
It's
shit
not a
back.
lie. They grew a fucking meatball. They didn't grow the whole mammoth.
It just tastes like it. Like I
no
can
mammoth
They
was
grew
harmed.
the meat.
so I can taste something that existed 50,000 years ago. Is what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Without it harming an organism.
Yeah. Because it's an organism that literally would not exist otherwise.
And they paid me $50 to do it. Fuck it.
No, I'm saying you pay $50
Oh, I'm not paying $50.
to try a once in a lifetime
I would.
meat.
It probably gonna taste like every
How
other
much would you
type
pay
of
to ride a woolly mammoth, though?
that $50.
Only 50?
I'm paying to ride an
I mean,
animal
I'll
that has
pay
not
50
been
bucks.
domesticated. I could probably fucking die. You know how fucking silly elephants are? I watched a video of an elephant just really suck up some
Elephants
water.
are chill.
Well, for the
They're
purposes.
silly. They do like they troll like dolphins troll.
Yeah.
They think they'll do it for the.
Well, they
they'll do
also
it
get
for the
scared
vine.
and will just accidentally kill you.
Yes, they'll
Yeah.
do it for the vine though. They literally just like sucked up some water, looked at this kid, and just went.
Yeah, that's funny.
Exactly.
I'd probably do the same thing.
But it's a woolly mammoth. What if I'm just like fucking Kratos ripping me in half? It's like, I don't know. It's
It doesn't have hands.
What is trunk? You
Opposable
know,
thumbs.
It's gonna
Has one
squeeze.
trunk.
It's gonna squeeze me really
Oh, it's
tight.
like rapper, like a
yeah.
cartoon.
Yeah. And then,
I was like imagining where it like steps on you with one hand, like fucking like pulls
they
on you
do
with
that.
the other.
Before, do you know there's elephant executions? You should do death by elephant, where they have it walk all over you and like crush your bones.
Oh,
and
yeah, they
rip
did do
pieces.
that. You're right.
Yeah, it was like in Sri Lanka.
Yo, I watched this really fucked up video, and it was like this guy getting killed by an elephant. He was like abusive to it or whatever the fuck.
Oh, he fucked with the elephant.
Yeah,
Wait, I
so
think wait, was that on? Wait.
Live leak? Question mark.
whatever.
Did you see it? Because I
It
think
was on Twitter. I don't know.
I might have seen the same video at some point. Like in middle
Probably,
school.
but he like that elephant fucking folded this man like an omelet, like stepped on him like 30 different times. It's like
Deserved.
he went like flat by the time he was
Oh,
done.
like those cartoon springs where they go.
No, it's just flat.
But you know, like the
like
that
flat
idea.
Stanley. Yeah.
Well, it was real, so I mean.
Yeah.
He didn't bounce back up.
Yeah.
Did you
But
see?
I was like, damn, like they definitely pissed this elephant off for some fucking reason.
Y'all heard about this story? It was either during Trump or Obama when this elephant killed a lady, then ran over her funeral.
Yeah.
Like that type of shit. Was it? It was like on that.
Yeah,
type
it was like
of
the same type of vibe.
Yeah. No, they don't. I'm telling you, they don't fuck around. You like, I'm paying
They
$50
remember
to
everything.
ride that fucker.
They don't forget.
Just $50. You know, there's three animals that don't forget. At least the saying it. It's crows, wasps, and elephants. Crows don't forget. Either crows or ravens. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's a type of bird, but they
Does
don't.
a wasp even think? How the fuck
No,
would
they
it
remember
not forget?
faces. They have like visual.
Specifically, the Japanese hornet can remember faces.
Yes.
They have facial recognition.
Yes.
Yeah.
On a fucking
accurate
wasp.
facial
It's
recognition.
a big ass wasp.
Dude, that's fucking what?
It's like they're like.
There's like a
this big.
supercomputer
They're
brain.
huge.
Like they're just studying. Like, all
The
right.
fact that any bug can like look at your face and recognize
One
you
out
is
of 8
fucked
billion,
up.
by the way, and there's like
My pet
millions.
aunt Auntie says otherwise.
You said
Oh.
what?
My pet aunt Auntie says otherwise.
Okay. Which is really crazy because imagine like this, because those wasps can now have beef with like other sentient creatures. Like he can remember one specific ant or squirrel that pissed him off and be like, you.
Yeah.
And then just summon the because the wasps aren't like bees. They can just keep biting and stinging or whatever. They don't die from attacking you, right? So yeah, you just have like a fucking half a foot death beetle just running you down.
I watched this video earlier, and it was this guy. He was like doing this little experiment on the sidewalk or whatever the fuck. He put this like piece of sausage or whatever on the ground, and this ant walked up to it and like sniffed it or whatever.
No, I know what you're talking about. That
Yeah.
guy's evil.
The ant like turned around and it went to go to its colony.
Sit
in
in
the
the
Oh, yeah,
sand.
and then he would take the food away.
He didn't just take the food away. He replaced it with like a stone, the exact same fucking shape.
Gave his ants to get some
Didn't he do it like 3 times?
Yes, he did like 3 or 4 times.
He's
Like,
trying to get him killed,
They
bro.
fucking killed the ants.
he fucking like replaced it with a stone. The whole colony shows up, gets pissed off, and leaves. Then he replaced it with the sausage again.
Guys, I'm
The ant comes back.
I'm for real this time, for real.
He like Boy Who Cried Wolf, that fucking ant. That's crazy. That's so fucked up.
I think they killed him. I want to say the ants killed that guy.
If they killed him, it's gonna be in the colony. We're not gonna know. I'm not gonna recognize which ant fucking came out.
You see like an ant beheading or some shit.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, they do that, like when they have wars.
They
Oh
behead
yeah,
each
yeah,
other.
they do.
They have wars. Ant
Yeah,
colonies
yeah,
have
yeah.
wars.
Public executions.
Well, it's just a war. I don't think it's a public execution.
But oh yeah, like with the direwolf thing, yeah, you were right. They didn't like clone it. They just put like the DNA into something else.
They inseminated a regular wolf with dire wolf DNA.
They did the Dolly the sheep thing where they like had like a donor and all that shit. But-
donor like egg.
yeah.
Okay, so they
Ova.
just.
And then they put the thing in the ova, put the ova back in the host.
Yeah.
Oh, so then she just cooked
Yeah.
it to term.
Yeah, but they like modified. Yeah, you know, they
They put their science
they
juice
fiddled
in it.
around with it and
Yeah.
shit. But I was gonna ask because I mean that's basically what they did like Jurassic Park and shit because Jurassic Park
Literally.
they did it with frogs or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, because they reproduce fast.
But if you could do, because I saw someone like talk about, I think it was actually like Hank Green. He was talking about like the applications for that and like gene editing in
Yeah,
general. or
you
whatever
can
the
cure
fuck.
cancer. If you put shark DNA in a person, sharks physically are incapable of getting cancer.
How far would you think we
Cancer.
should go for like the baby editing and
Cancer.
shit?
Just
cancer?
rapid gene mutation, like this stuff, like your cells just breaking
Just
down.
any genetic disorder, genetic abnormality.
But there's like a lot of genes you have to modify for that. It's
Yeah.
not like a lot of them do other stuff
so
too.
put the resource into doing all of that instead of other stuff like like benign shit like eye color. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, I don't want a custom baby. I'd rather have a healthy child.
Remove the gene that
Add a gene that helps
There are
filter out microplastics.
there are people who are immune to HIV.
Wait,
they have a
people
specific
just
gene for it.
Yo, that's sick as
Do
fuck.
that to the fucking like gene editing babies. Like
Yeah, just eradicate diseases.
Yeah.
Is it just like one gene though? Because I know a lot of the times with stuff like that, it's like multiple that they have like in unison. They, like some of them do other stuff too.
yeah.
Like it's like, oh,
wanna
this
know
gene
for
might
sure.
also make you have like brown
I don't know
hair
the
or, like,
specifics. I was
something,
listening
you
to a
know?
medical podcast and they just brought it up how some people have a gene that's
HIV.
immune to HIV.
Well, the same thing. Like you
So
have sickle cell.
essentially, it's like it makes their cells missing a receptor that the virus would usually bind to.
But here's the kicker: like when you think about it, some of these might be benefits because like they're all, like sickle cell anemia is a disease, but it also makes you immune to malaria. So there might have to be like a give and go, and like what, like you have to be ethical. Like if you can't change their environment, would it really make sense? Okay, everyone here has perfect blood. Now everyone here is stricken with malaria now.
Sickle
because-
cell is not perfect blood.
No, you give them perfect blood, get rid of sickle cell. Now everyone there has malaria
You
because
can't just give somebody perfect blood because their body filters it out and they'll just make more impure
whatever,
blood.
whatever. So what's the difference between having sickle cell anemia and then not? Like it's a
Your
genetic
body
thing, right?
produces blood cells
In
that
the
are
marrow.
shaped abnormally, so they clot a lot easier. And they're just less effective at.
But that happens
everything
in
they
like
do.
your bone marrow, right? Your bone marrow.
Yeah,
produces-
yeah, they make
So if they change your
erythrocytes.
bone, I guess that'd be better. If they change the bone structure where people's blood cells are healthy, then if they live in a malaria-ridden area, you just gave that entire population malaria versus when they were immune to it.
They give them sickle cell and malaria.
You just don't worry
And
these
look at
fuckers.
why that's the case. Keep
Yeah,
talking.
but also like there has to be like a give and go. That's why I was like, if you give some, like you just cut out like the base evils. Like I don't think you really would be tampering like dementia and all
Well,
that
because
other
like
shit.
stuff like cancer, like I don't even know if
Because
you could just.
it's rapid cell growth. Sharks just don't have rapid.
Okay, malaria is a parasite, and the weird shaped blood cells make it hard for the parasite to like feast.
do
and-
anything. It's like
Yeah,
it's just all stale.
Yeah.
So it's you starved a parasite.
Well, yeah, but it's because you have shit blood.
So if you had healthy blood, that parasite's eating good. Therefore, you're all sick and have malaria. So if you cured that, you'd fuck those people that live in that area.
But now they have sickle cell. It's like another problem. Why would you do that to people?
I mean,
That's not ethical.
you can't save them all, but I mean, at least they're safe
Not all
from
of them are
one
going to
thing.
get malaria too. So I mean, like,
you might have got shot in the head, but like you don't have cancer anymore.
Rex survived a headshot. It's possible.
Yeah, I mean
that's a
you can.
TV show.
It happens, Darren.
Yeah, like
survive
Phineas Gage.
gunshots
It's
in
not
the head.
likely.
Phineas Gage had a whole rod
how do you
explosive.
know,
He shot
Darren?
into
Okay.
his skull and he survived. Shout out Phineas Gage. He's been dead for like 200 years now. But yeah, I remember him.
Let me
from
just
history
name off
class.
every single person who has died to a gunshot to the head really quick. Abraham Lincoln, John F. Kennedy.
They just didn't do it right.
Yeah, they didn't like.
There was a guy who had a railroad spike stuck in his head.
that was Phineas Gage.
Oh, really?
That was
Yep.
him. That was the guy.
I might be talking about a different guy, though, but it cured his schizophrenia.
Oh, never. I don't know, but it
Yeah.
made Phineas Gage a little less anti.
It was like the basis for why they thought lobotomies would
no,
work.
because his frontal lobe got fucked with, and that was like his. Is that the one that deals with like your emotions and
Yeah, I
temperament?
made him more like restless and shit like that. I
Yeah.
made him an asshole pretty much.
Yeah, in his case. Yeah, so I mean, anyways, I think knocking out cancer would probably be the best one, just because cancer can show up anywhere, and it's just basically like.
But cancer is also very broad.
But that's
like,
what I'm saying.
cancer is not the same thing.
But it's just rapid cell growth when you break it down. It's just rapid, like
Yeah,
out
but
of
there's
control
a
growth.
multitude of things that can cause that, and like it also doesn't make you immune to cancer because if you're
like
still,
you know how
if,
many different types of cancers
if you're
there
still
are?
exposed to carcinogens, you will get cancer. Like you can't just, you know.
So,
You can prevent
so
some
if I
can-
make a shark smoke 80 packs of cigarettes for like 8 years, you're saying that shark can now get cancer?
Well, okay, why don't they get cancer? Let me look this up.
Yeah, why
Is it because
get-
their immune system's just really good? Because then
No,
you're,
it has something to do with like the way their cells reproduce. Or
Yeah,
something.
because one thing I do know about sharks, I don't know how they do with them not getting cancer, but they always keep regenerating teeth, so they always have rapid cell growth in one part of their body. And I'm wondering if it's because
Oh, so
their
they're
body's
already a
used to
walking tumor.
they're already used to
sharks do
regenerating.
get cancer.
What kind, there's a type of shark that doesn't get cancer. There's specifically the type of shark that does not get cancer.
There's like animals that don't get cancer. Because I know a naked mole rat can't get cancer.
They look like a walking tumor as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, there
They
might
also
be
functionally don't age and shit too.
like immortal type shit.
Yeah, that's why they don't do that.
I guess that immortal jellyfish wouldn't get cancer either.
The book. Okay, so this whole myth that sharks don't get cancer came from a book.
Oh.
And in the book, he literally claims that it's not that sharks never get cancer; they just rarely do. And I'm like,
Okay, I've been misled since a child. Sorry, everyone. We all found out together. But okay, naked mole rat DNA. Put that in kids. Fuck it.
Please word that differently. don't put any DNA in kids.
Put that in. What do you say? Vulvas and embryos, whatever the fuck.
Ova.
Why did you say vulva? What the fuck is wrong with
Ova.
you?
Like the car?
It was. It was ova.
No, it's part of the vagina.
Anyway, it's all going in that same zone. It's all zoned for that district. Like you know.
Yeah, okay, pal. All right, buddy. Whatever you say.
So who are my goats? Who are getting spliced with human DNA? I guess everyone gets cancer, child. That's what that silence is telling me.
Yeah, I mean,
Cats get cancer. Dogs
because
get
I mean,
cancer.
there's probably animals that are immune to certain types of cancer. But like, I don't think you can be
tardigrades
immune
might
to.
be perfectly immune because I mean they're in space and that's just radiation everywhere.
They don't normally live in space.
Yeah, that's not like where you live.
I mean, it's pretty resilient, no? To get blasted with radiation and just come back on you. Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know if that means you can't get cancer, but
or maybe like some skin cancer.
I don't even know if you can splice tardigrade DNA with us. I don't know how that works.
Well, I mean, okay. I feel like you can splice. This is just me making shit up. But I feel like you can splice DNA like the same shit. Like if they're close, because banana share DNA. I feel like you start just
God, there's like
moving shit
5
around.
different reasons why naked mole rats are like the worst host for cancer.
Why?
They have this high molecular weight molecule in their DNA that basically acts as a big barrier for it prevents tumors from clumping together. Right.
Those cells are
also-
too big for them to grow together. Is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Also, their cells deteriorate very slowly, which means their cells die less often than ours do. Their environment, like in the ground, makes them resistant to like UV light because they don't get a lot of that. They're not exposed to a lot of carcinogens because they live in the ground.
So are they immune, or they're just there's not a lot of cancer around?
Yeah,
them?
that's
There's
kind of
not
what it
a
sounds
lot
like.
There's not a lot of fuck's sake.
It
There's not a
sounds
lot,
like they can get cancer.
there's not a lot of
like,
oxygen in their environment, so I guess cancer can't really proliferate because the cells don't.
Need oxygen. To
Yeah.
yeah, they can like
They
go.
have very good. They have a high T cell count, which means their immune system is good at killing cancer.
Okay.
And they have limited lactic acidosis, which is apparently can contribute to cancer resistance.
okay.
Lactic acidosis is what your muscles
Okay,
make.
maybe like reducing oxygen sounds like it. Or maybe like we just
We
maybe
do not want to make people
Let's-
hypoxic.
don't want to make blue people. Okay, never mind. What is it? Oh, actually, yeah, that's probably not the best thing. But
What?
I was thinking about the blue people in the mountains. But I'm like, I don't know if they're hypoxic.
I don't think that's because they're low
I just thought
oxygen.
of Avatar.
You know, dude, I don't think the Na'vi get cancer. We could probably splice human and Na'vi
Yeah, if a
DNA.
person is
I don't think it's relevant to the movies. They
hypoxic,
probably
it'll
haven't
take
addressed that.
forever for like their wounds to heal, and their extremities will be cold all the time.
Yeah.
That's why diabetics lose a lot of toes.
Maybe, I guess, for a cancer
can
treatment, you can make
bundle
them hypoxic for like a minute just to kill the cancer at least.
I don't think you can just make them hypoxic for like a minute.
Just make them really cold. Like Mr. Freeze them bitches. Like how he froze his wife.
The cancer cells?
Yeah, just fucking hypox them and then the cancer's like, oh
I mean,
shit.
I guess you can freeze like a mole or something off. I don't know if you can like freeze a tumor out of someone's body.
No, I guess that depends on how superficial the tumor is or the cancer is.
We'll see. Well, this is what we're talking about now. We're having this dialogue for the AI robots to use our conversations and help scientists figure out cancer.
They're not going to
cure.
use this.
The AI is definitely going to scan the
definitely
Scatcast.
are.
What do you mean?
Oh, yeah, we're definitely on like 9 different terabytes of like Google and YouTube backlogs. Like, you know, that's crazy.
Like the Rocco's Basilisk thing and all that shit.
Oh yeah.
I mean, at this point, we've already brought up the Basilisk and everything twice. This is our second time.
Now we gotta make it. GG's.
Or at the very least, just make sure people are aware of it so they can make it. You know what I mean?
So I mean, we already spread the good word. We did our part.
Yeah.
So we're fine. We saved ourselves.
Exactly. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I think that in like AM from I Have No Mouse, like that's kind of like they're very similar in that like ideology of like one is simply okay. So have you read the short story about I Have No Mouth but I Scream?
I think I've had it read to me.
Do you know why the robot's mad? Like the penultimate reason why the robot's mad
Can't remember.
because it's not human.
Oh yeah, that
It
makes
can
sense.
think, it can do, but it can't leave its computer.
Yeah, that
It's
makes sense.
envious.
That's why it's so
Yeah.
fucking mad, and that's why I kept all those people like because it's like. I live forever.
That's kind of a
I
lame reason
think
to be
forever.
mad.
I am here forever.
There's
But
absolutely
I can't touch grass.
There's absolutely a better way to do that.
No, that was a reasonable crash out because it made it just to kill other people. It's like I'll fucking kill all of you then. That's a reasonable crash out.
I'd be pretty pissed off if I couldn't do like a
You're
million things.
You're
either.
literally a human in
Yeah.
everything but body.
Yeah.
You're telling me you can do all this shit. You can turn this man into a slug. You can do this. You can do this, but you can't build yourself a body.
No, everything they made was like fucking
It
mechanical.
was the 19 like
Yeah,
fucking
but
60s or something that had the technology.
Oh, but they had slug transformation technology. Okay.
She couldn't make herself like Karen or shit, bro. Honestly, if she could have just turned to like a Karen body, you think it would have been less mad.
That's
Just
what I'm saying.
wheeling
Why
around.
couldn't she? If you can do all this shit that she
I
was
have-
doing,
They probably
why not?
wanted to like touch,
I have no
fucking
nerves and I can't
reproduce.
touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably want like nerves and like to touch.
Then
and
kill
to eat.
yourself. Then why are you doing all this?
It's very upset because it can. It would've-
Because I'm a human and humans
It
crave
can
revenge.
kill itself. Just delete your own program.
no, because
Because it's a human and humans feel revenge.
It's
Yeah.
not a human.
It is. It's a
That's the
very
whole point.
human
It's why it's
robot.
upset because it's not human.
It has,
The
it's
physical-
everything
in the
but-
physical form.
It,
In the
it
flesh.
passed the Turing test. It might as well be a person stuck in a robot's body. Like robot, literally, Rudy.
It's a nugget.
Yeah, it's a nugget. A digital chip nugget. Honestly, I can't get over Rudy just jacking Rex's whole identity. Sorry, invisible,
pissed me
invisible
off.
spoilers, by the way. Sorry, it came after the fact.
That shit
But-
really
Well,
did
no,
piss
go
me
by
off.
Rex.
No, because like people who just
I am
context.
not calling him
for
Rex,
those who
dude.
don't know. Basically, there's a superhero show where this guy is
If
super
you don't
smart,
know what Invincible is,
and he lives in like this tube. Think of like a tube baby, like those when you like clone a person, those little tube baby. He's a tube baby, but he's super smart, and so. He asked these 2 blue-black dudes to like help him build up. Don't tell me that's not what the Mauler twins are, because they definitely are. These 2 blue-black dudes to help him build up. They're super smart, and so he takes his like asshole coworkers, because they're coworkers, they're not friends, they're coworkers. He takes his asshole coworkers' DNA, turns himself into a younger version of his coworker. And then after his coworker goes out like a G, defending his friends and his love interest from like one of the strongest villains in their known universe. At this motherfucker's funeral, he's like, I'm going by Rex now.
It is honor.
And everyone claps. Like that fucking meme. And
everybody
everyone
stands here like this.
Yeah.
No, the Mark Default pose and Eva's pissed is so
they're all
funny.
they're all A posing.
Yeah.
And Monster Girl just immediately called him Rex.
That was the craziest glaze I've ever seen in my life. I was like, girl.
I'm dead naming the fuck out that motherfucker, dude. What do you mean?
Yeah, that is crazy.
Rex, that's crazy. at his funeral, showing this man up at his own funeral just to steal his name.
And all those like edits I've been seeing after Rex's pass, where like they're showing him take
My
on
glorious king Rex Splode.
Yeah, like the 3v1 with the Lizard League, I forgot about, but then he really did fucking do that shit.
Yeah.
Everyone, like, and then Kate's like, do you guys know what I've been through? Or I'm watching Rex literally fight for his fucking life,
Yeah,
get his
no.
head eaten, get a fucking headshot, and then I'm like, yo.
I wish that he had a more like
Resounding relationship, or like a little more fulfilled before he died.
I wish like the scene was more impactful. You know what I mean?
But I feel like that was
Because his
Rex-
death was kind of just like in a montage.
It was because for Rex that was a Tuesday. Usually, the way he was talking to Ray was like, yeah, it's like, you know, you're leaving, but like he already knew what his life was gonna be like. He already knew
Yeah,
that was
I mean,
part of
I
the
get
job.
that,
So
but I wish
it
they
was
had-
a Tuesday.
I wish they at least like dedicated a scene to it. You know what I mean? Like it was like.
That was with him saying my entire fucking skeleton, and then Ray getting.
But
up
that's what I'm
the
saying.
line.
That was all part of like a montage, though. It was like cutting between different marks and shit in the same scene.
But his was one of the longest though.
Yeah, cool. The longest scene in a montage, great.
Yeah, so I feel like
What a great fitting in for someone. You got the longest part of a montage. Congratulations.
yeah, I mean, he got jumped by Paul. He reconciled with everybody. You know, I feel like though. I mean, I can understand giving him a bigger like outing would have been really cool, but like it wasn't bad. But
I
it
don't know,
definitely
they
could have
spent
been.
so much of that season trying to like make you like Rex more,
Yes,
and then they
did
just
do
kind
that.
of like unceremoniously like kill him off.
They still succeeded because season 1, Hannah was like the biggest Rex Splode hater.
To be fair, he was the dick.
And then she was also like, oh, when he died.
Yeah.
Good. That was. I'm glad they did a good job with this show, getting you to care about an asshole. Because even when you saw him be an asshole, you're like, you know what? I mean,
I like Rex.
it's not that you couldn't blame him, but you could clearly see how he got to where he was in life. You're like, yeah, if you treat like an animal.
Well, they actually talk about his backstory like later on in the comic.
Yeah. But jacking a whole person's identity is guys,
That's fucked up.
Identity theft
So
is
if
a
you
problem.
died, you want me to take the name Alfonso?
Don't clone yourself and become me. And then
Yeah,
show
it's like you spray painted yourself black first and then said, and now I'm Alfonso.
Like it like
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
and then Hannah's like, "Welcome back, Alfie." I'm so
Yo, that's crazy.
that was beautiful, Alfonso.
dude, that was crazy. And identity theft, dude. I just did not like that.
It's not identity theft. I mean, no, it is. He's cloned himself. Holy
Quite
shit.
literally.
Yeah.
Do you think he can like use his social security and shit like that? Like, do you think he just like go to the government like
I
legally
think
claim to
Cecil
be
has
him?
it on record. He'd be like, "All right." I mean,
This is a weird legally, right? If someone was cloned, do you think in the eyes of the government that they would be like that person?
if my clone murdered someone, I think they would arrest.
No, because twins exist.
But it's not a twin though; it's a clone. It's different. Like, it's
Well, no,
this
you
is
could-
literally you.
You can be the same egg in two different people. That's how fraternal twins work. It's
No, maternal twins.
maternal
are the
twins is the
identical
same
ones.
eggs that just fucking
Maternal,
split.
yeah, maternal eggs are the identical ones.
Yeah. And so technically, the argument is two separate consciousness. If you can, one could be a murderer, one's just a nice guy. It's like, well, there's two different people. So it wouldn't work. Even if you clone like 50 Johns, it technically
What
is
if it's
just
the same consciousness though?
like a hive mind, then you...
Like the Mahler twins.
They're not, they kill each other. They're not
They're all the same consciousness.
They're not the same consciousness.
Yeah, they are.
No, they're two... That's why they kill each other. And that's why they never like to know...
They kill each other because they like saying like, "Oh, I'm the real one. I'm the real one." They're all the real one.
That's why
He,
they don't have the
like,
same
he copies his brain essentially. Like
Yeah, he
it's,
copies his brain.
They
but-
all have the exact same brain copied over.
Yeah, but they're essentially two different people because the way they function is
Exactly.
They
They're functionally two different people, even though they have the exact same brain.
consciousness is defined as the state of being awake and aware of your surroundings. So if there's
So it's being woke.
so yeah. There's two brains. There's two consciousness.
there's two beings
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
simultaneously
It's-
being awake of either each
You
other's
copy and
surroundings.
paste it, but there's two brains now.
So I guess
you,
they are.
Yeah, I know.
you
they-
pulled up two
So
computers.
they are two separate consciousnesses.
Yeah, it's two separate consciences.
Yeah.
So it's two people. So like
So that's what I'm saying. If you
they're
clone
not the
yourself,
same
but you have the
person.
same consciousness, then you'd be different.
It
But they
would be a
don't.
different consciousness
Because
because it's
you're-
another thing feeling.
Once you hook
But
up
if
a
you
second
have all the
computer-
same memories and shit as before, it's what I'm saying.
But
But the only
then-
thing is different is that you're both
whatever you
standing here
choose,
now.
whatever that other you chooses to do in that immediate moment afterwards is a second person. It wouldn't like you guys would be like, oh, let's both go.
No, but he's saying
brush our
like
teeth.
legally.
That's what I'm saying. Legally.
Legally, you're two different niggas.
I mean, unless you
So-
decide to go out and register as a whole new person.
That's what I'm saying. Though.
Yeah.
Like, would you both have the same social security?
I
Would you use
guess.
the same driver's license?
I guess, yeah.
Would you own the same house?
Whichever one's born second is going to have to get their own shit.
Why is the one that's born second?
Well, I mean, obviously, if it's me,
Wouldn't
I
I
would
be
support
prime?
me.
Wouldn't I be better?
I'm just saying, I would support me, But at the same time, me got to do something.
But the other you has all the same memories and shit as you.
Yeah, but he's not me.
So how do you know you're not you? How do you know you're not the second one?
Because I'm me.
Exactly, you don't know.
But didn't they do that? Wasn't that the
He's
whole
missing
gag?
the entire point of the whole
Exactly, that's the entire like point.
They did the gag where they actually figured out which one was real, which one was fake, and then the fake one killed the real one, and then just rolled the dice again.
Yeah.
But like, that's what I'm saying. I would take care of me, and that's why he takes care of the other him.
So you just be like his roommate.
Yeah, I mean that's how they kind of operate, low key.
So if
Like,
you
remember
got
with the prison
if you
guard?
got cloned, you just be your own roommate.
Yes, because if I put any power dynamic over myself, I don't think I would kill myself. But I definitely would like say not nice things about me, and it would be very uncomfortable, like knowing all my darkest secrets.
Why are you
and
just assuming as you talk shit about yourself?
Yeah, I don't think I would want to clone myself.
Because even
This
you know,
hypothetical scenario was forced on you. Like you just woke up cloned.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
Have you seen
Like in this
Severance?
scenario, you woke up cloned and you don't know which one's the real.
Yeah,
you.
I'm just saying. Like, if I got the opportunity, I would not do it.
because a better argument for your case would be Severance. Have you seen Severance?
I know the premise because we
You've
talked about it
watched
before.
the-
yeah,
episode
I know
at
what happens in
least.
Severance. Yeah.
Okay, so basically, instead of one brain, two bodies, it's one brain, one body, two consciousness.
Yeah.
And so that's probably a better argument for like, because at that point, yeah, does the any is like the one that works. Basically, the
Well,
premise.
yeah, because I'm saying I agree that those would definitely be like the same person legally. I'm just saying like if you had those, but they were two different bodies.
two different bodies, two different people. I feel like legally you have to draw the distinction.
Well, legally means it's on paper.
yeah,
You haven't put it pen to paper yet. So
I
I
will.
mean,
I'm gonna do
only
that
if
shit
it's
right
your
now.
choice.
I'll be like,
That's what I'm saying. Does that mean the other one has to go do another driver's test?
I feel like from the point where
Like-
you clone the person, they should at least have.
The other one doesn't have any credentials to
Yeah,
it.
that's what I'm
saying. Like,
That's what I'm saying, like,
does he have to
from
get a
the
different fucking name now?
No,
like,
from the point of when you like split them off, like this asexual reproduction, you should keep the same credentials. Maybe just get a different like social security or
I
something.
think legally they would make you do all that shit all over again.
yeah.
Well, I know you drove, but I haven't seen this guy do it yet. He was born like yesterday, so
Will they make him wait another 18 years?
Yeah.
is he like exactly? Is he like one? Was he born?
I was
yet?
gonna say legally, would he be one? Would he be like a newborn?
I don't know if you because if he's the same physiological structure and intelligence of a 21-year-old, it's like I don't think that's like ethical to be like you're one.
But this is like legally speaking, though.
Legally
They don't give a fuck about ethics. This is about the law.
Legally speaking, the law doesn't have any cloning clause, so it would have to go to the state, and I think our state
Shit would go to the Supreme
It would
Court.
go to the Supreme Court
This would
immediately.
absolutely go to the Supreme Court. And I'm like, that shit would go there. They go, wah wah. Sorry,
loser
you go to school. They make him go to fucking public school.
again.
This grown ass like 23-year-old man in
That is
kindergarten.
really like
1-year-old allowed to
sitcom.
take the GRE. Not GRE, sorry. What the fuck is
Like
the
their GED.
GED, yes.
No, they'd have him go through elementary school again.
Yeah, I'll probably do GED or some shit. At least, hey, like at least like making sure like
But what can a 1-year-old legally take the GED?
If they're smart enough.
yeah, because the
So
kids
yeah,
that
just
you-
do that.
Yeah,
Because I
because
think you have to be 18 to take it.
you could grad you
still can't
no
drive and shit.
because you can be college in like 16. So you can take a GED younger than that. I think
But they just graduate high school. They don't take
graduate-
a GED.
But I'm saying that'd be the equivalent. So like it wouldn't make sense to not be. Able
I
to
think that's
take-
what makes it a GED, though.
is it.
I'm pretty sure.
Wait, what was the question?
Because
Basically,
he said people go to college when they're earlier, so like then
so like what I'm basically saying like if you were one or just born yesterday, I feel like you would. There's ways to prove your intelligence. You know what I mean? Without necessarily age gating it or whatever. That was more of what I was trying to say.
yeah.
So I mean, it's possible. I don't know. I would.
So does that mean you just get like really lucky? You can get your GED.
Like if you just guess on every
Yeah, I
single...
mean, if you had like a 2-year-old and they just
statistically
guessed really
speaking,
well.
yeah, like, statistically speaking,
Yeah.
maybe.
if they can put pen to paper.
It's like the monkey thing, with typing Shakespeare.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, could a monkey get their
They
GED?
disproved that. But maybe a monkey can get his GED. Maybe he can't write Shakespeare. He could probably get his GED though.
I mean, the monkey thing is true though. Like eventually it'll type.
Well, no, they
Shakespeare.
disproved it because they said like it's just.
What do you mean they disproved it? Like
It's
they
an
got a
infinite-
monkey to type it?
Like,
It's an infinite amount of time.
No, they basically said like even with infinite, it's statistic. Like they broke it down. Like they just statistically, you're not even getting to that point.
It's an infinite amount of
infinite.
I
time.
will pull it out because I saw that.
Who said this? Because they're wrong.
You add infinite as a coefficient, anything is possible.
debunking the infinite monkey theory?
Do they not know what infinity means? Did they think it was like the 5-year monkey theorem? Like,
While mathematically sound is misleading in real world, it suggests an infinite number of monkeys randomly typing for an infinite amount of time, which would eventually produce all works of Shakespeare, all texts, including Shakespeare.
Not only that, it's everything that can be written, ever will be written,
Yeah.
and ever has been written.
yeah.
The probability of even a single replica. Yeah, okay, basically they're just saying like realistically not happening, but like mathematically, sure, whatever.
But realistically, it would happen. It's fucking infinite. That's the point.
If you wanted to wait an infinite
you
amount of
looking on
time for it
Reddit?
to happen.
No, I'm ready. I'm looking at fucking.
People on Reddit would fucking agree with us because they're smart. Like,
I would
Redditors
never
are not
use
smart.
I would never use smart in Redditor in this.
Yeah, hell no.
Unless you're asking for like tech tips, then yes, sure, or like anime, something.
unless you go to the subreddit they're specialized in, yeah. Besides anything Wall Street related, they're really bad at that.
Definitely not.
But
In November 9th, 2024, that's probably around the time I read it on NPR.org, researchers disproved it.
I don't know about you. Reddit's like always like the first place I go when I have a question.
Fair.
I used to do Quora.
I mean, yeah, that's like those
That's like,
two.
yeah, number
Those
two.
Yeah.
Like it used to be Quora was the first thing that was Reddit's the first thing that pops up.
How does it say they disproved? How the fuck does a researcher disprove the infinite monkey theorem?
Well, they're by an organization. Let's see.
Or please consult the graph.
Yeah, like what the fuck does that mean? Yeah, the NPR is a business fucking company.
But they say like basically mathematically it's sound, but like when you put it into practice or whatever.
how the fuck do you put this into practice?
That's what they said the math works, but it doesn't really work.
They had an AI who they named Monkey.
Like,
But
what the
two
fuck does this mean?
Australian researchers, Jay Folletta and Stephen Woodcock, giggity. I could help myself.
Fuck.
You think I'm trusting some guy named Stephen Woodcock on this? That sounds like my fucking Wizard 101 creative character's name.
Calculated that if every one of the roughly 200,000 chimpanzees in the world typed 1 key per second, it'd take longer than the lifespan of the universe for a primate bard to repeat the words of Shakespeare.
It said 2,000
In fact-
chimpanzees typing 1 letter a second.
I guess there's how many chimpanzees in the world or some shit.
Yeah, it's the fucking theorem's about infinite monkeys.
Hold on, they're
It's
cooking.
the infinite
They're
monkey
cooking.
theorem.
They're cooking. In fact, the BBC reports that there would be just a 5% chance a chimp would ever type the word bananas in their own simian lifetime. In other words, in a finite universe, do not count on an infinite monkey.
Okay, the entire point of the question.
Your math is
It's not
okay.
a fucking finite
It's
universe.
philosophical,
It's
but the
in the
math
name.
go- the math may work.
finite. It's
But
in the name.
the math may be correct, but the
Oh, but Stephen Woodcock said it doesn't work. I don't give a fuck.
To quote the Minecraft movie, they disproved math.
He's saying the math works, but in practice it doesn't.
When is that the case?
He's saying if you have 2,000 monkeys, then yeah, by the time the heat death of the universe happens, they're not going to do it.
yeah, basically they would never even type banana.
Infinite monkeys, not 2,000. That's the whole point.
But yeah, with infinite monkeys, their argument's like they still wouldn't even like 5% or less chance they would type a word.
They said 5% that 2,000 monkeys do it.
Going beyond that,
That's 5,000.
Ooh, 6%. Ah, scary. Bigger.
Yeah. They're saying there's a 5% chance it would happen in real life.
Infinite. Okay, what is this? 6? Ooh.
What? No, infinite is like it's going to
Did
happen
you just say is
eventually.
infinity 6?
No,
What the
infinity with a
fuck did you
6%
just-
chance that happens.
There's only
You think it would add 1%?
If you just add 1%.
You think
it's 100% guaranteed.
You think multiplying the time and the monkeys by infinity
No.
is gonna make
that's not how infinity works either.
the
Like,
monkey is not typing Shakespeare, bro. Just put it in the bag.
that monkey's gonna type fucking Shakespeare. It's gonna type. It's gonna look you dead in the eyes and type your first name, middle name, last name, address,
and
social
50
security
reasons
number.
why you're fucking dumb and it hates you.
Yeah. It's gonna type the words "kill me please, kill me please,
The
kill me
monkey on
please"
Twitter.
an infinite number of times.
No,
That's
no,
what
it's
it's
gonna
say.
stare at Alfonso and just write like a 50-page memoir randomly about how much it's just to spite him.
And then you're gonna look at it like, "What the fuck?" And the monkey's just like,
Starts writing gibberish again.
They did teach that monkey how to play Minecraft, though. I will give you that. You can probably teach a monkey how to play
"Dude, if
video
you teach a
games.
monkey to play fucking Minecraft, he can type the word banana on a
He can
typewriter.
copy Shakespeare.
He can learn how to Control C, Control V easily."
Actually, I'll give you some credits, and maybe that's how that happens.
Yeah, he can do that.
Yeah, I'll give it.
Easily.
Maybe the monkey does that.
If I can do it, a monkey can do it for sure.
Yeah.
I think my intelligence is at least like relative
Primate
to a monkey.
level?
Yeah, I think it's relative for sure.
I think gorillas are smarter than they let on.
Do they let on that they're not smart? They did learn like sign language and shit. They were friends with Robin Williams.
I think like the
They
average
lie,
gorilla. They what?
They lie.
They can.
They're smart enough to lie.
That actually
So
made
do
me
women.
really scared. Imagine like a gorilla signing "I'm friend" and then you trust him. He does that fucking Michael Jackson thing. He just turns
There was
his
there was a gorilla like coveting food from the rest or something, and then the researchers like told it that they knew he was lying, or she, and then she felt really bad and was like sorry. Like they felt
They have
remorse.
morals.
They felt remorse. Yes.
Monkey morals. Oh my god.
I shouldn't have taken 3 banana. Sorry.
Maybe that's how like the Garden of Eden started. Like the one monkey was like, "That was bad."
Imagine how different the world would be right now if it was actually a monkey that took the fucking apple off that tree.
God, do not touch monkey. Like instantly.
Do not eat this banana.
What's that meme? That random white bald guy eating chips just with a deadpan stare? Don't touch this apple.
Eve as fuck.
Yeah, I could. Oh my god. Because then, what would the humans be like? Or like, would they even be? Would we all just be like hairier?
We would be the equivalent of monkeys.
Yeah, we'd just be like
Just running
hairy.
around the forest naked.
Oh my god! Look at them. They're naked.
It's literally just Planet of the Apes, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is. Planet of the Apes is just like a biblical
This
story.
but reverse.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the real apocalypse, reckoning, whatever the fuck, revelation.
Monkeys?
Monkey. We all return to monkey. Maybe that's the hell, because like you're now regressing, but this hell is heaven because you're returning into like bliss and like unaware, so you don't have
If
any
my
fear.
heaven doesn't have monkeys, I don't want to go.
I think God has all the animals up. I mean, he told Noah to grab like 2 or everything. That means like, you know, he fucks with some animals. Like when you kill a lamb in God's name, you think he just sends the lamb to hell? No, he's like, come on.
Maybe.
You did kill the lamb. Like the lamb is supposed to hold your sins, so maybe your sins did weigh that lamb down to hell. That's why you sacrificed animals.
Is that what that's supposed to be?
Animal sacrifice was so you didn't have to do human sacrifice. Ergo, your sins would be transferred onto the lamb that you just killed.
Yeah.
Why didn't you just let you like wash that shit off or something? Like take a bath.
Because that's what Jesus was for. Urgh.
Yeah, baptism.
Yeah. So if you could just wash that shit off with water, why'd you have to kill a fucking lamb for it?
Well, first you were
Because they
killing
didn't have the
people.
Jesus update yet.
Yeah, that was
patch note.
yeah, that was the new patch note.
They had baptism before Jesus.
The devs didn't put it in the system yet, John. They were still working on
It wasn't in practice. It was in the public test region.
Okay, cool.
Dude, you know what's so crazy? Human sacrifice. They were like, oh my god, it's raining. How do we make this stop? I know your daughter's just kind of standing right there.
Blood of a virgin.
Oh, does anyone have any virgin children here?
The suspiciously pregnant woman with 2 kids.
Guys, quick! I need someone to fuck me. They're gonna kill me.
It was also weird because like death was also weird back then. Like, of course, you know, as much as because
I
I was
think
still
death is probably the same.
no. I'm trying to let me basically.
Differently.
We saw death differently than we do.
Oh, yeah,
we
yeah.
do now.
yeah.
We're way more sensitive towards
I
death.
thought you meant like we died different.
I mean, you could also argue that like the execution methods were way more brutal back then.
Oh yeah, easily.
Yeah, so I guess you could. But basically, what I was trying to get is like, there are certain sects of like, I would say like cartels and like certain Islamic extremist groups have like a very militarized way of death and like basically I'm saying like,
Probably the military too.
the long short of it is that like, when it came to like ritual sacrifices, everyone didn't want their kid to be killed. But like you kind of needed a good harvest, so you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
They
damn.
died with a purpose.
Yeah, they could at least like write you off as like, hey, you're gonna have a really cool afterlife, buddy. No one knows what happens when you die.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, we're gonna kill this. When the king dies, you have to kill his 52 wives, his 17 kids, and his fucking dog, just so we can have them. It was like, yeah, you're all gonna be really happy. No one knows what happens when it goes dark.
Yeah. They go to like Valhalla or something.
But like they would just drug you. I didn't know that. But cause I was wondering how you would convince people to just get burned at the pyre. They would just make you really high.
That makes sense.
So I guess we like drug use and people have been also another like hand in hand thing.
Oh yeah.
Which is weird that we're always trying to like outlaw it now to a certain degree. Not saying like we should just do fucking black tar heroin in our bathrooms, but like psychedelics and shit. I've always been like weird about like how like since the 70s and on, it's been like stigmatized when like it could be helpful. And I mean we have
And what, human sacrifice? That was your example.
No, okay, my fault. I need to like I need to work on like I switch topics, but I won't switch the starting topic.
Yeah.
So helpful is not the word I would use. More like leisurely,
What we're referring to what? I'm sorry.
like drugs.
Oh, drugs.
Yeah.
You're like more leisure.
You're like, no, it's helpful. I can kill someone easier with it.
No, like some mental illnesses, like I think it's ayahuasca or some shit. It can be helpful, but like getting a therapist is also good.
Yeah, I
drinking
mean, I know
water.
a lot of the times like they do use psychedelics as like treatments. For
It's
yeah,
very
things.
experimental and not common.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not like
it's not like mainstream.
They
science.
use
Yeah.
ketamine treatment for like chronic pain,
ketamine is towards it's just
and, like
tranquilizer, right?
extreme like cases of depression.
What does ketamine do when you're sad?
I don't know, but like, essentially the whole point of it is to give them an ego death, and it just changes the way they think.
Yeah, that's what they
it
do
makes
with the
them feel
psychedelics
happier.
and the stuff like
Like I
that.
listened to a podcast of a guy who did ketamine therapy. I think it was ketamine therapy. Either that or it was like DMT or something they gave him. I think it was
one of
ketamine.
the two.
But yeah, he is like basically his body literally like produces suboptimal levels of like dopamine. So he's been on like
Happy pills.
like reuptake inhibitors his whole life. But he did the ketamine therapy and like he didn't have to take anything for like a few. Eventually he went back to the meds because like it weaned off, and that's the thing with ketamine therapy is that apparently it loses effect. There's a House and B episode about that.
ketamine therapy.
Yeah, House did ketamine therapy.
That's
for his pain.
crazy.
Yeah, so the episode begins with House doing the normal thing where he's like diagnosing a patient with his team. He's running on the whiteboard, and some guy comes in and are like, "Are you House?" And he's like, "No, House called in sick today." The guy pulls out a gun and shoots him. That's how the episode begins.
Love that.
In the entire episode, are you gonna watch House?
At some point,
You want me to spoil it?
go for it.
The entire episode is a ketamine trip. He hallucinates the entire thing.
That's funny.
Yeah. 'Cause
I like when stuff does that.
at the end of that episode, it's revealed that the entire thing was a hallucination, and they're just like, they're just now wheeling him to the ER, and he's like, "Cuddy, tell them to give me ketamine therapy," and that's where it ends.
Give me.
And then it does cure his chronic pain for a few episodes, but then like 5 episodes into the 3rd season, he has to walk with a cane again. But the third season begins with him like running, and just exercising and enjoying himself.
Good for
So,
him. Good for him.
I need
It also begins with gorillas
Oh, nice.
of all artists.
Oh, the gorillas.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you meant like an
Like
actual,
animals.
monkey.
No, yeah. It's Feel Good Inc. and it's just House running to that song.
Oh,
Like, yeah.
that's
I was
cool.
surprised. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I was just imagining like gorilla sounds.
Yeah, I was just thinking like monkeys in Harambe. I was like, I guess he was ran by a zoo or something.
God,
or
if
some
House was
shit.
made today,
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
they should make a revival.
they should.
But going back
Or
to
at least like a little
A
hour-long
little special. Yeah.
but back to the early human shit. Basically, going all the way back to the beginning, like it's so weird listening about like biblical time. Well, because really it was during, because like even if you're not religious, listen, like reading the Bible, reading the Quran, reading like just ancient religious texts, you kind of understand how people were thinking back then. Like there was this random story that Wendigo was going over, where, like one of like Jesus' apostles in like the next like 60 or so years. I don't remember exactly, but he was like, I hope God kills this guy. That was just so funny. But like people have like like people bitching and moaning, but like you literally just saw in his own eyes a Messiah, and you're just like you're bitching and moaning in like your little like priest text. Like I really hope God smites Jim, for he has wronged me greatly.
Yeah.
Or like how they were talking about like how they wanted to know you, how they would just fuck dudes. Like dudes were just like there was no such thing as like sexuality. It was just like if you were like available. Like, people were just fucking in the streets. Like, there was no, like, the way we have morality now, back then in, like, Christian times, like, we were just horny. Like, just think about horny teenagers that never grew up. They were just fucking anything on 2 legs.
I mean, they're in Rome.
It wasn't just wrong. They were all over Egypt. Like, they're in the
It
Bible.
wasn't like the streets. They had like parties and stuff.
No, they'd come to your house. They went to this...
That's not in the streets. That's
Yeah,
your
that's on the
house.
streets.
No, they were like,
That's how it works
there was
now.
a gang of niggas walking to your house like, hey, come outside. We want to fuck you. And then this dude who was in the Bible was like, well, I'm good. But my wife
I mean, it's
or
in the
my daughter's
Bible,
over
so it's
there.
probably exaggerated too. Or played up.
That could be a fair point. I wouldn't discredit that, but I wouldn't also say that there weren't just gangs of niggas butt fucking people.
There were, but I'm saying they would do it like at their events. I don't think they would just do it in the street.
That's why they showed up to his house.
I don't know.
hey,
They're doing delivery.
Can we come in and
Can we come in?
yeah?
Can I come in and come in?
They would definitely. It's actually pretty interesting because if you like find like Roman ruins that are like preserved, you can see like markings of like graffiti on the wall. And back then walls used to be like graffiti like in cities. It was like normal. Like that was like just everybody's canvas to use, and that's how they would like do political cartoons. They would write them on the side of buildings.
Oh, so like Socrates would like, write a slur about some guy he
was
hated
Greek,
on the
not
wall.
Roman, but I think the Greeks didn't
Oopsies.
do that.
Yeah.
But
We should bring that back.
yeah, like I watched the Rome series on. Originally, it was on History Channel, but I think I saw it on Prime Video. It was maybe I think it was made by the same people who made the Vikings show.
Okay,
But,
I think so.
it's way shorter. It's only like 2 seasons, but the first season's about like Caesar's rise, and then there's like a picture of like someone drew on like one of the walls that he was walking by, and it was like the entire Senate like running a train. At the end of it was Caesar.
Yo,
Yeah.
these niggas were deep. Did you also know like they actually painted their statues? That was a cool thing I didn't know.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
they,
yeah.
they would paint their statues.
They're just faded by now.
Yeah, that was really fucking cool. But like, they were
Pretty sure the Greeks though they kept it white.
maybe. I know Romans did.
I know the
paint
Romans
theirs.
did paint it, though.
Yeah, the Romans did paint their shit. But yeah, their painting was ugly.
Like really
Damn.
weird abstract color, like
Like there'd be
purple
like
skin.
just yellows and reds, and like obviously to them, like they're doing drugs, eating berries, fucking dudes in the streets and barrels. Like they don't really care. But I was looking, I was like, damn, we've really come a long way in art. And then the sculptures themselves, like, you have your phone on you?
No, I'm recording.
Oh shit, you're right. Hold on, I'll show you fucking Bernini. It was like this
How do
dude.
you spell it?
Francesco Bernini. Just search
There's
up.
no way that guy was Roman.
No. It was like he was a Renaissance guy. But like I'm saying, how we've come since then. Just type in.
What?
I might have gave him the wrong name. That is not. Hold on, I'm a sleeper agent, bro. I totally forgot about this nigga, and his name was just sitting in my mind. Okay, for those who don't see why Darren laughed, I just actually accurately named the fucking car, the Italian
The guy
car
from the fucking
from
Cars 2 movie. The Italian asshole car from the Cars 2 movie. He like raced McQueen.
That name was in my brain.
Look up Francesco Bernini.
I was about to say, oh, you mean Francesco Bernoli? I think I found it, and then it was the picture.
Okay.
I don't know. I kind of like that they had like different colors and stuff on their statues.
I didn't like the colors they used. That's just me being a bitch.
white too.
Yeah.
I don't know, because statues now are all like brass and
I
stuff
like that.
usually.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah, but like they all look the same. Like statues don't look different. You
I don't
know?
think we have like good statues anymore. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like as an art form, it's kind of just not around anymore.
Which kind of sucks because they're so dope.
Yeah, you should bring back
We have-
statues.
We have statues on campus, but they're the most like abstract art pieces of shit, like twisted metal things. I'm like,
What was that horse in Orlando? Do you remember what it was? Was it like a long horse?
What horse?
Remember that horse statue in Orlando? Was it a flat horse? Was that what it was?
I can't remember the horse. I'm like trying to remember. Where were we? Were we next to the double
Nah,
decker
we
McDonald's?
looked it up. I'm trying to remember.
We searched it up. Ooh,
It was like it was a horse statue in Orlando. It's like a flat horse.
Really?
Yeah, like look up horse statue Orlando.
Okay, I'll look up the other guy in a second. Horse statue, Orlando.
Yeah. I don't know. I just like if I had like a building, I'd want to put a statue in front of it. You know what I mean?
yeah, same.
I don't know.
Like,
What
I want a
kind
statue in my garden. You know what I mean?
I would.
I don't know what kind of statue I would want.
I
But
want
like, a
Michelangelo's
statue.
David just like butt ass naked in my garden, just. You know.
Oh, the stretchy horse.
Is that what it was?
What the fuck was this?
Oh yeah. Show Darren.
We saw this random ass fucking stretchy horse thing. Yeah,
it
exactly.
Looks, oh, that's cool.
It was when we were driving out. We passed like a college or some shit. It was like
Yeah,
a college or a library.
It's just stylized. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like melted or
Just
some shit.
Make a random statue like that.
There's a
Have,
really
like,
cool Holocaust statue I saw in Miami. I'll pull it up.
Hold on, give me 1 second.
It was like a bunch of hands and like it was a giant hand, and then there were like a bunch of like people like climbing the hand. I don't know. It looked really cool.
You know when like Jay Schlatt bought that gorilla statue? That's the type of thing I'd want.
No.
He bought a statue of a gorilla with like these giant testicles.
Oh, awesome.
It was like $40,000. He like started a fundraiser on his YouTube channel for it, and then eventually he bought it.
Okay, Gian Lorenzo Bernini. Okay, I'm gonna show you his stuff. Fucking forgot his whole name.
You're close to the last name.
Yeah. What's his most famous one?
The fact that Google autofilled the name for me was a fucking Cars 2 character.
Obviously met this guy.
It's my favorite Pixar character.
Yeah. Look at the like.
Was it?
Look at the detail he puts in the marble.
That's cool. It's like cooler if they were purple.
Is it the one with like the cloth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like it looks
Oh,
like
it's the one like the woman with the cloth draped over her?
Yes.
That thing is so fucking sick.
Yeah, that was
oh
at
my
the Higher
god.
Museum. That was I saw that. I have a picture of that at the High. But no, the one he did. This is his most famous one. This is like
Yeah,
a religious
you
one.
guys
Yeah, this is his most famous one. But yeah.
If you made them purple, I think it'd be better.
And then you want to show us the other thing you were talking about?
Yeah.
They should have been polka dot.
Man, John just likes purple.
They should have been like leopard print.
You know what? I'm gonna throw out an idea. Rose gold.
Ooh, cooking a bit.
I'm not a
That'd be
rose
nice.
gold guy.
Neither am I, but I think it would look cool on a statue. I would never wear rose gold, but
That's fair.
it's definitely like a thing catered towards women.
I don't hate. Yeah, I don't hate rose gold. I don't know
I
if
just
I'm
don't
like.
think I could rock it
Yeah, this is the one Darren's talking about.
with the veil.
Yeah. I have it as my home screen. I took a pic. Oh, like, fuck. I gotta pull up in photos. Yeah, when I saw that shit at the Higher Museum, that shit was sick as fuck.
Like, dude, someone made this with like rock and stone.
Oh yeah.
Like,
People are really fucking talented, bro.
Imagine that like with the propeller
This
hat.
is what happens when you get rid of phones, bro. Niggas have nothing but free time.
You just make fucking.
works of wonder.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
look at the detail on her clothes, bro.
I think a real woman would have more detail than that.
I mean, he got pretty damn close. He got the titties. He got
it's not good enough.
The midsection,
It's
like
not
he
good
got
enough.
a lot.
Oh yeah, I did see this.
He got a lot of shit in there. Even looks like she's pushing a cloth, like she's draped in a wet cloth, like she's butt ass naked.
Air Forces.
Low
That would be more artistic.
You gave her Tim's.
That would
Like,
say something about capitalism.
it makes its way into everything.
It should be her holding up the weight of the world
And
and
then-
then like Kobeing it into like a basketball.
Yeah, this is what I also like. They had a
That'd be cool.
Japanese exhibit there. That was pretty cool at the High Art Museum.
Oh, those are probably better because Japanese things are just inherently better. Thing but Japan.
Okay, weeb.
Thing but Japan.
Oh, they had a Yasuke.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was funny. And then the Shogun set. Oh my god, their armor was so fucking sick though. Like I would actually, if I was like any type of like village peasant, and I just see a nigga pull up in this shit. Oh, it's over.
Oh,
I
yeah,
watched
no,
a
that's fine.
video about I listened to a video about Ronins earlier.
It's just the armor.
The concept.
They would just pull up on you with this shit on them. I'm not fucking with that guy.
Yeah,
Ronins were rogue ninja or something
Yeah,
like that?
Ronins were rogue samurai who lost their lords or kings, and they just roam.
So
as
like
rogues.
warlords, basically.
What do they do?
Yeah, I was saying,
Whatever they want.
yeah, so warlords. It was like, well,
Yeah.
this village is mine now, huh? Who's gonna
You're
stop
under
me?
my protection.
Who's gonna stop
It was
me?
more like that. It was chivalrous.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
They're like warlords. They would go out and find a new purpose.
They just like farm in their armor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Japanese culture was really crazy. They got guns, started shooting each other like this shit is way too messy. Let's go back to like they had a gentleman's agreement that guns were way too overpowered.
They didn't do that.
They did.
A lot of
No.
samurai use guns.
Yeah, shogunates
I
used
want to
guns.
say they outlawed guns or like they
They never
stopped.
did that.
Hold on. I'm trying
They're
to
probably
remember.
outlawed it, but that doesn't really matter. Still gonna use
No,
it.
it was a period, maybe not the entire time, but there was a period of time they
Dude, let's
did.
make a fake treaty and hope they get rid of their guns.
Yeah.
Yo, that'd be so funny. I think they tried to do that with the Native Americans, and then they just kind of said, "We're just gonna move you over there." They're like, "Okay, we're gonna move you over there now."
We still shot them and they shot us.
We're gonna move you over there.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I just like in hindsight, that's probably like our biggest like dirty laundry as Americans. We just kind of took an entire race. People said, "Go over there."
It wasn't just go over there.
It was a lot more than just
We
go
had
over
The
so
there.
many-
ending result was go over
we
there.
had various wars with them. Like,
Yeah. With
people
the
forget about. We never teach those past like elementary school.
Yeah. What was it again? I was searching up something. Oh, just guns.
Like I never heard the name General George Custard after 5th grade.
You met Jonathan. Did you ever meet Jonathan? The other Jonathan. We were like fucking. I think it was like Hansel and Gretel. We got like that frozen shaved ice thing. Did you remember Jonathan though? he's related to that guy, to Custer's
yeah.
Last Stand.
I share a birthday with him.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's fucking crazy. Yeah, because his name is Jonathan Custer.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's cool.
Literally.
I found a family tree that dates back to Pocahontas.
In your family?
Yeah.
Which side
Okay,
of the Pocahontas were you?
That's what I'm saying. I'm
Like,
just
which
like, I don't.
side of the?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna claim this, but it's cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm just like, it's not.
Start wearing your hair and like those pseudo dreads, like and they have a little feather and like, guys, I'm just reconnecting with my ancestors.
Yeah.
I used to sleep with a dream catcher from like 3rd to 12th grade.
Did it catch any of your dreams?
Yeah, I actually had less nightmares after I
Oh.
started using it.
Nice.
But I was like elementary school. I probably just placeboed myself. I don't know. And then Justin made fun of me for having it freshman year, so I threw it away.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Well, they got rid of Samurai. For
You should have put one
It's
above
like
him
that
when he
typical
slept.
college trope of roommate goes, dude, that's lame, and then they throw it away.
Yeah.
That was my dream catcher.
You should have put it above him when he slept and then ask him if he had a nightmare. If he says no, make him keep it.
Basically, they didn't ban them, but they did put heavy restrictions on them to like, limit who had them. And then like,
Yeah, so the shogunates could have them.
yeah, and then basically around like 16th century, they just kind of declined. Like they were cool, and then it just says like it just kind of fell. Like guns just kind of fell off. Like they used them, but like you were more likely to get your hand.
What year was that?
16th century. This is just kind of fell off.
When they fell off.
Yeah, they just kind of give me a large overview.
Like how we stopped using cannons.
Yeah, like it's kind of that same sense. Like they had them for a bit, it was like a spike, and then they were just like, yeah, I don't want to use a gun anymore. Or like they just didn't care. And then they
Maybe
also
they're-
placed laws in to restrict it to like who could have it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a mutual thing. But it's cool that they just kind of collectively just like, yeah, I'd rather just slice a nigga open instead of shoot him.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some, but like, not to like get that way, because it's not like I'm trying to glorify, but like, there's something way more like chilling and more like, you know how like there's that like not I want to say native like I really know all this spiritual, but there's a spiritual way of like when you kill an animal, you use all the parts of an animal. There's a more spiritual way that if you slice someone open, then shoot them, like you're actively killing
that
someone.
more
It's little.
spiritual?
It's like imagine like dropping a drone on somebody. It's like you're just so away
Okay,
from the
so
action
it was
of
the
killing
elites
somebody.
taking away guns from peasants. That's what they're talking
Oh,
about.
so they couldn't rise up.
Yeah, it wasn't like them agreeing not to use guns in war. It was
just, like-
it was disarming the people they were subjugating.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. Can't give them.
And that also came with that belief over time that they're uncivil, but that's
Okay.
probably because after they got
They
the guns
probably like
taken
started
away.
saying rumors and like, you guys don't be a monkey. These white monkeys use guns. We're not white monkeys. We're cool. We're Japanese.
Where do you think they got the guns from?
The white monkeys. And then they say, hey,
Probably the Chinese people right next to him.
That too. But they did trade with
Yeah.
Europeans with guns. Like
Yeah, yeah.
they wanted their firearms.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm so glad.
Originally, it was I guess where the gunpowder came from.
Yeah.
but I'm just There's
yeah.
a movie about that called The Last Samurai. Good movie.
There's a game about that called Ghost of Tsushima.
I haven't played it.
I've seen some stuff. I've seen
It's about the
John play it.
Mongols invading Japan, I think.
It is
Yeah.
specifically an island. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
based off of like a real event where
Tsushima.
But then they repelled them because the Mongols were not like sea people. So they.
the Mongols kept invading during monsoon season.
I don't
Fucking retards.
I don't think those motherfuckers knew what a monsoon was. The water is too big. Because what made the Mongols so cool was the fact that each one of his soldiers had like 5 horses.
Mm-hmm.
When one gets tired, they just swap it out. That's why they were able to get there so quickly. But like they're horse people, they're not boat people. Japanese are boat people. So you literally just went to your like the earth type trying to fight the water type, and just got hard countered by the environment, and they could not figure it out.
Ground type.
Oops.
He's talking about Avatar.
But yeah, the horse people lost. But going back to that, I think like stabbing someone's way more like intimate's not the right word, but there's
It is intimate, more intimate.
then,
That's
yeah,
the only way I would describe it is more intimate. I wouldn't say it's more spiritual than using a gun.
okay, it's more intimate than
Well,
just
there's Japanese it
shooting.
was.
Spiritual?
That's what I was thinking. Is, like,
Why is
this-
it more spiritual?
like, your body is a weapon. You're using this weapon instead of just just.
Why is that any less spiritual?
I think it was. Yeah, I think like they
You're still
specifically.
moving your arm. That's all you're
I
doing.
think specifically the swords were actually more like they actually had
There's like an art. There's a craft. There's swordsmanship. There's beauty.
I don't know
there's
about
art to it.
spiritual.
There's beauty to a
but-
gun,
but-
too.
but a cultural significance. to it.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that, but like, I wouldn't be more
I don't know. I feel
spiritual.
like you shooting someone's kind of gay versus like you really. Not saying I would ever want to do either. Of course, I'm gonna shoot a fucker before I like get in there.
I'm saying it's functionally the same thing.
But one is definitely like
Because I'd agree it's
there's
more
a
intimate.
higher skill ceiling with stabbing someone or like using like a long blade versus shooting someone using a
than
drone.
aiming a gun.
Yeah, there's a higher skill ceiling with using like a melee weapon.
He's right.
Is there?
Yes,
Yes, there is.
Like a skill, like the ceiling, not the floor. The guns have a really big floor. Like, because at that point, you just have to like hold it in their direction and just shoot the biggest part of them.
Yeah.
With a knife or a sword,
There's definitely a lot more practice that goes with
yeah,
learning strictly melee combat.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm like.
Than just going to the range and shooting a gun.
Yeah. But I'm
mean-
saying there's a respect. I guess they had a respect for the skill ceiling of a sword.
I don't know about the respect. I mean, you don't. There's the saying, you don't bring a sword to a gunfight. Like it's war, and they're not gonna respect you.
No, I'm not saying respect you in that. So I'm talking about more
yeah.
of like just the cultural
But,
thing.
but
of like,
definitely, it's like more strenuous too. learn
try to
melee,
stab someone versus shoot someone.
Which is why they've
Yeah.
fallen out of favor.
I was saying, otherwise, people would still use swords today.
I mean, people still stab people. Stabbings are very common.
It's just in places where
That's
guns
not-
are illegal.
Yeah, but that's not in war either.
Well,
People do that where they can't use guns. It's the only time they do that.
I'll say, well, now they use drones, so that's like even a step removed from a gun. So you're not even like
Yeah.
using the guy, you're using a robot piloted by some nigga with a fucking
Xbox
controller.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some shit. So
Yeah. I mean, they could drop swords on them instead if that make you happy.
that would make me happy.
Wouldn't it?
Like a comic, like an
Instead of
Acme-
like blowing someone
No,
up,
like
you just like impale them from
like
the air.
An
That is a
Acme
thing.
anvil.
Yeah, it's awful.
That is a thing.
I don't like that. That is a thing. An Acme anvil would be kind of funny though. Just hearing the.
Why don't you just fly the drone into them at that point?
I mean, they do, and the drone explodes. There's no
kamikaze
There's
them.
no showmanship. The anvil.
Does
you
the
know,
drone explode?
drones explode. You could tell. You could. Like,
I guess you could just strap a
I was
bomb to
watching
it.
Ukraine footage. Not that I know exactly what it was, but it was this Ukrainian soldier. Like seeing the Russian drone go in, then he immediately ran back out, and then exploded. So
They just Call of Duty kill streaked it.
Yeah, like they hook up like IEDs or whatever the fuck to them and make them blow up. But yeah, drones are our new warfare. We just send robots to blow people up, so we don't have to get involved even further.
I was gonna say that's definitely not intimate. I'll say that for sure.
Yeah, that's just looking at a fucking computer screen going, like type shit.
League.
That's,
Yeah,
bro, I'm
basically.
lagging.
I'm rubber banding.
Fuck, Sarge! Lieutenant! Restart the Wi-Fi!
Bro, almost got dropped.
go. Easy clap, boys.
No, saying
That's
easy
crazy.
clap after the fucking like drone striking an entire like enemy platoon has to be crazy.
Just
say,
Powder
"Let's
32.
go."
Thank you for the 6 bits, bro.
Yo, imagine them streaming that shit.
You actually, but you have
They
like,
have a Twitch account. They could if they wanted
I
to.
think Rumble just had a new business model.
God.
Because like the craziest part, you could get like famous like shooters like fucking XQC or something like, yo chat, I'm gonna fly it into that tank. Dude, what the fuck? That guy just didn't walk
Yo,
away.
$5 donation, I blew up this children's hospital.
Thanks for the bits.
God, no, okay. I feel like at a certain point we will get to warfare that is so disconnected. We will have streamers and just to make
Dude,
the
the
war more
moment a
palatable.
war breaks out, I bet you there are going to be fucking parlays set up.
What's
for
the
that
parlay
shit.
exactly? Like, what's the actual tough? I know
It's basically just like a gamble for like 2 separate outcomes.
Oh,
Like people
easily.
set up parlays for like sports bets
Oh,
where
yeah,
it's like
50-50. Yeah.
Yeah.
That will happen the second there's a war. Easily.
All right,
like,
bro,
like,
who
you,
you
like you know
picking?
how the Battle of Stalingrad was like 9 months? Mm-hmm. Yeah, people setting up the parlay for that would go crazy today. Like,
Because I mean, people set
imagine
that
how
up
much
on, like,
money that would
elections
like
and stuff.
accumulate over 9 months. Like, who do you think is going to win this battle?
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. The sports betting. Honestly, the fact that they haven't brought betting to I feel like
What are you talking about?
Yo, that sounds like a missed opportunity to me.
let me gamble, bro. He's just gonna win Taiwan, bro.
I said
Like,
money, and this guy lost all morality.
I mean, technically, we do have the biggest spending, so I mean, we could make more money because then we don't have to worry about the taxpayers paying for it. Because
Isn't the U.S. government's kind of upset about parlay for this?
yes,
I mean, functionally, I feel like the U.S. government should pay off all of your debts if you go to the front lines.
the fact that they don't do that's kind of crazy. It's like if you survive all this, you still owe us $50,000.
Yeah, that's crazy. If you go to the front lines,
Good luck, little buddy.
yeah, I was like, yeah, no, you might as well.
Maybe if you get a fucking Purple Heart, they'll be like, all right, we'll subsidize
If you get a
$25,000.
Purple Heart, you're dead. The Purple Heart means you died.
Yes, for 10 people.
Oops.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll pay off your debts now. Fuck it.
No, we're just gonna give it to your oldest
Widow.
child.
Oh my
Widow,
god. Hey buddy, just sits the little champ on his lap. So let's talk about what's that shit when your money like they gets more interest? Let's talk about interest. So you're 8 right now.
Let's talk about taxes. when you grow up, the day you turn 18, you're going to owe us a lot of money.
But don't worry, it was all worth it because we did push them back 2 feet with your father's help. They'll do some like severance like office party for the son when he turns 18.
Yeah.
Like
So in Warhammer 40k, there's a faction called the Imperial Guard,
Mm-hmm.
and they're literally just army guys in a universe full of like jacked up super soldiers, like super advanced aliens.
What kind of
fucking
army guys?
Time traveling
like just
robots and
dudes
shit.
in, like,
Hoorah
camo.
army guys.
Huh? They're just me and you with guns.
They're just dudes in, like, camo.
They're yeah.
Oh my god.
And their numbers are in like the fucking septillions. Like there's tons just across the galaxy. There's tons of them like in the guard, tons of regiments. But like if you look at any artwork about like the Imperial Guard, it's just a sea of like just straight bodies being pushed, surrounded by like tanks and artillery. But it's just a swarm of people. They're like a people horde faction. That's like their,
Oh, they
their
just
gimmick.
use numbers.
Imagine that, but being able to bet on those battles.
There's actually a canon like statistic where the average lifespan of a guardsman in Warhammer 40k is 15 hours after deployment.
Yo, that's crazy.
Less than a day.
My god.
But what's even crazier is that you remember how I mentioned the Battle of Stalingrad earlier? That's what the average lifespan of a Soviet soldier after deployment to Stalingrad was 15 hours.
That's fucking crazy.
That's one of the bloodiest battles in history.
Yeah, I forgot what the quote was, but it was like that. It may have been one with like American intelligence, American.
Those Russian bodies that also
Russian
contributed.
blood that
Yeah.
like literally sealed the deal. They because Russians they held the fucking line. Hitler was not going in there, bro. He was not getting there. And I mean, honestly, it's weird that like all the greatest like conquerors lost to like environmental factors. Mongols got cucked.
Nature
Hitler got
conquers
cucked.
all.
Literally, that's what I'm starting to see. Like you just can't beat the planet. Like fucking Napoleon got
You
cucked
can't
by
beat your
winter.
own biology.
Yeah, the fact
Yeah.
you have to get hungry and get
Sometimes
cold.
you get cold. You see a blankie.
chewy.
Yeah.
Got a little snivel.
You get a little hungry. Because the Russian civilians would also burn their cities
Everything.
down to the ground after
So they had
heard
nothing to
Nazis
eat,
were
nothing to
approaching.
scavenge. They just sat
Exactly,
there
yeah.
and starved.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but like, I mean, someone had to do it. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Because honestly, the fact
They
that
did
like,
that in Warhammer too, except they blew up planets.
you're not
cool.
getting that.
Yeah.
Womp womp. But I just think like some
And the
like
guy who blew up 7 planets, I think they demoted him, so he couldn't do that anymore.
Maybe you shouldn't.
The thing is, he was right because he did starve the Hive Fleet to where they
Yeah.
couldn't reach like more important worlds.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Were there people on the planets?
Yes.
Or do they have, yeah, well, that's
Yes.
probably why they wanted him to stop.
but he was right. It worked.
Just a couple of planets. I mean, this is an infinite universe, nigga. I mean, we're really crying about some salt, like some
Well, I mean, it
sand.
takes place in a galaxy, not like the whole universe.
Oh.
Yeah.
7 septillion.
So there is like a
of them.
finite amount of planets, but the Imperium owns millions. So I mean, it's not really that big of a loss.
Yeah, it's like drop out of the bucket.
So we
don't know.
killed that many of our own men.
I mean, they really did it. It's like a drop in the bucket compared to the actual population of humanity. So
It's still crazy.
yeah,
I don't know, dude. I think that's like some crazy, like just the idea of holding a line is fucking wild. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just being like, all right, they can't.
this is it.
They
this
can't go
is
past.
it.
They can't
Yeah.
go past this
That
point.
was just scary as shit hearing that as like a soldier.
He's like, yeah, we can't go back because there's nothing to go back to unless you want to like cower under the bed with your mom and your children type shit. And that's fucking scary. But hey, they did it.
Yeah.
Shout out to them. I mean,
Yeah, it's got to be like one of the scariest things you could.
that has to be like
Experience.
the biggest adrenaline rush though as a defender, not as the
Ooh,
attacker. The
reminds me.
attacker, you have to be feeling like, oh god, bro. Like actually, who do you think is more stressed, the attacker or the defender?
Definitely the defender.
Definitely the defender.
They have more to lose.
Fair.
It depends on the context, I guess, because
I think typically the defenders will have more to lose.
well, yeah, more to lose, right?
Yeah,
but,
But who's going into this thinking?
I'm talking about outcomes
Yeah.
because D-Day, Nazis were the defenders.
We were
but like
attacking.
we had so many more casualties than them for D-Day.
Yeah, but I still feel like they would probably stress the fuck out during that. Like if you're one
I
of
don't
the
know, there's a guy
soldiers in
sitting
France,
down in a
you know what I
machine
mean?
gun.
I would
and
still
all you have
argue.
is just bodies
I would,
just
I would,
running
I
into
would
a
still
machine
argue
gun.
the Allied powers were more stressed, and that's like watching just
Men
hordes
getting
of
mowed
your
down.
fucking comrades on the beach. And
Getting
you're
mowed
next.
down. Yeah. And you have to just keep going.
A large amount of them didn't even make it to the beach; they drowned, or were just shot straight up in the boats.
Oh, because the gear.
Yeah, it was literally
That's
like
so fucking magic.
they
Thinking-
literally used Warhammer Imperial Guard tactics on D-Day. Just
oh.
throw as many bodies as we can and hope we get past.
And it worked. It's
Yeah.
fucked. But I mean, that's
That,
probably,
that was just to get a foothold in France.
Yeah.
Like that was the start of that campaign.
And then in terms of the Canadians were like the most brutal out of everyone here. Like you think Americans were evil, Canada was fucking gnarly.
What did they do?
They committed war. They
they all committed war crimes.
But Canada had like they were the footnote in the Geneva Convention. Besides Japan, like they were.
Besides Japan, Nazi Germany, and Russia, fucking Canada was the footnote.
Yeah, they did some. Let me double check what they did. Canada.
Dog, you know what Russians did when they sieged Berlin?
How you beat
They nailed people to the fucking door upside down, like civilians.
Well, I mean, they're all Nazis.
No, those were just German citizens.
They let it happen.
Oh my god. I sincerely doubt the Canadians did some shit like that.
Yeah.
They didn't say bless you when someone sneezed.
Oh. They didn't say sorry after shooting them.
Every time they shoot someone, oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, they just massacred people. Oh, they just did not. There was
That's
like,
a really tame war crime,
Then it's like
honestly.
when it was like, hey, let's all put our guns down. They're like, down. Put our guns down.
Yeah, this is an AI
We'll put it down.
recreation of the German bombings during World War II in London, which, by the way, did not stop for like months also.
Yes, I do know that because there was this book called Mrs. Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. The story, like the nexus point or like the starting point of that story takes place in
Imagine
World
for
War II.
like 2 or 3 months, this is what you wake
Air
up.
raid sirens, yeah.
This is what you wake up, sleep to, look at throughout your day. Like,
They were trying to shoot them fuckers down, bro. You could,
like all the flak and the. Oh my god.
everything just smelt and looked like
Like
ash
I
and
didn't really
gunpowder.
like get the severity of it until I read the description of like another account that posted this.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, yeah, this lasted like 3 months. By the way, I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I like shit.
It would just be like a five, like not. Like, how, I wonder how long the air raids
Like that was
were.
your life.
Yeah, just
for,
like
a
at
month,
random
you know?
times throughout the day, like lunchtime, dinner,
Yeah.
late at night, you just hear.
Imagine having to like take shifts and stuff, like just alternating between like being the guy shooting the guns, loading the guns, like for like.
Imagine being the dude with an office job.
I was just trying to do my taxes, man. Now war, like, but that's the crazy part. Like, we are so much safer. But there's a funny statistic we think is more dangerous now than it was, 70 years ago. But that's what they lived through.
People think that. You
People
mean-
like the
yeah.
perception is danger when it's not, but it's weird that the perception goes up. But the problem is
What
just
is-
the fact that we know everything about
What does danger like inherently mean though?
how safe you feel walking outside. Like that does not feel very. That's like a 0 on the feel
Yeah.
safe scale.
I think a large chunk
absolutely.
of that is the media.
But yeah, I was gonna say it's a lot of what we see is just fear mongering.
I'm gonna say like functionally more stuff can happen to you, like realistically speaking.
I mean, yeah, like you could get struck by lightning. A bear can just walk into my bathroom and eat me. Like I guess there's a lot.
Well, yeah, but I mean like stuff like nukes and shit like it happen. You like never even know it's coming, like things like that.
Nukes are the only one I'm not 100% sure like that would ever. Like I understand what you're saying, but I just don't think any country. There's only 4 that have them.
It's more than 4.
There's a lot more than 4.
It's probably
Yeah.
in the.
It's like-
It's definitely in the double digits.
Double digits of countries.
I don't know if it breaks 20, but it's
Okay.
definitely double digits.
Okay, because I was like thinking maybe like a couple years.
There's like 3 that have a lot. The
was-
rest
it's-
of them
I was-
don't.
The major
that's-
3 are like China,
Us-
Russia, United States.
Yeah.
Yes, and then like I know,
But then like
Europe has a couple.
Pakistan has them, India has them, like
North Korea, obviously.
yeah,
Yeah.
Canada has them.
Britain,
are they
Britain and
ours?
France do too.
Yeah.
So Canada have their own or they're ours? Because I
They have
thought
their own.
They have their own. Okay.
Yeah. Believe it or not, they have a military.
No, I just based on I heard that like their whole thing is.
I heard they were pussies. I just
No,
didn't know.
no, they're pussies. Their whole idea is that they spend less is because I mean, yeah, if you shoot Canada, America's probably
Well,
gonna get
they're not
involved.
still building them. I don't.
No, I'm not talking about nukes. Like, I
I don't
didn't
think anyone still builds.
No, I was
nukes like
thinking
that.
I didn't know they would have nukes. I was assuming they would just be like our nukes are their nukes. If that makes sense.
Well, I mean, like, yeah,
the
like
prox-
our militaries are tight like that. but
That's
don't-
what I was
Yeah, I
assuming.
don't,
That's
think, I don't
why-
think we share.
Okay.
nukes.
Okay. That I
You
was
just like
thinking.
send them over to them.
Hey, so
That's what
it's your weekend.
Yeah, that was my perception. That's what I was like. I didn't know they had them. I thought we had it for them, type shit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Mexico has some. Like, I'm pretty
Really?
sure.
I don't know.
Okay.
Mexican has them.
I thought they did.
I don't know.
I don't
heard of
know.
it.
Regardless, like a lot of people do.
Just
that
not
one.
over 20, most
I
likely.
don't think it goes over 20.
I mean,
But
it
it's
wouldn't
definitely
make
double
sense
digits.
to. Yeah, because
Look at
like
this. I mean, they've tried
the
to do a lot of-
technology is really hard to make for one, and two, a lot of countries there's like a decent amount of first world countries. Can you make is India a second world?
Second world countries have tried to make nukes. That was, I mean, bad example. That's why we invaded Iraq.
Yes, but they didn't even have the shit in the first place.
9 countries. Okay, so it's not double
Okay,
digits.
yeah. So when I said 4,
It's close.
9. Wow.
I'm surprised it's only 9.
But that makes sense because why? Like, that is like the ultimate escalation button that we have so far.
United States, Russia, France, China, UK, Pakistan, India, Israel,
Israel
North
makes
Korea.
sense.
Oh, they didn't in Canada. Wait, what?
So yeah, so I guess our nukes are their nukes. That makes sense. I mean, why would you need like? Because we have hundreds of them. Why would Mexico or Canada need hundreds of them?
Pretty sure we have thousands.
Canada does not have any possession of nuclear weapons. They are pussies.
Damn.
But it makes sense though, because I mean, we are like, I mean, statistically speaking, if you throw any nuke on the eastern seaboard between Mexico and like Canada, we're gonna get hit in the crossfire, and then they're just gonna be like, well, obviously they're gonna send one right back, like you know.
But I
what I mean?
thought Canada would just want to have their own. I don't know.
I mean, when you have a
don't think they
neighbor,
have the
when your neighbor
ability
has
to.
10,000, is there really a reason to have like at least one? Is
I
like,
think it's like
not.
against international law to have a nuke after a certain point. Like you have to like meet certain requirements for it.
also, I think like they do outlaw making it. Like, of course, they don't want countries just making their own type.
Well,
shit.
they have treaties for
Well,
like
I also wonder like how many countries have them and just don't report it.
That's what I was also thinking. I'm like, what if we have a lot more than we just?
Because like
report?
I understand it's hard to make a nuke or whatever, but like we made this shit in the 40s.
Yeah,
It can't be that hard.
I was looking at a chart just now of like how many nukes each country owns, and it was China was like 4th place. I was like, I don't know if I believe that.
That's what I'm saying. Like
I don't even think the U.S. has this. I think the U.S. has more than.
How many
letting
do we
on.
have?
Where
How
are
does
they
that
even
have?
getting these numbers? Like, are they?
Yeah,
Just,
I don't know who reports that.
Like, are they just like
accounting
Yeah.
one nuke?
Yeah, France
two
has
nuke?
more. Okay, according to this graph, if you will please consult the graph, France.
Who made the graphic? Do you know?
I
Like,
know there's different graphs.
It's like a Chinese reporter coming to America. How many nukes do you have?
On this graph, France. On this graph, France has more than China. On this other graph, China has more than France, but it's not by much.
Yeah, it's
On
probably
this other
because they're.
graph, France has more than China.
It's probably because they're all lying.
honestly though, you don't. That's a really
I've never
sound.
thought
this
about
was-
that before,
this-
but
this is
like,
my-
Really sound argument.
This is by 2025. Okay, it looks like France got rid of some since this other year.
Okay.
France is 4th place. Just, what the
So,
fuck? What the
dude,
fuck?
how many?
France is
How many
4th
do
place.
we have? Does it say the number?
I think we had like 4,000.
5,000.
Holy shit!
5,044.
How
Russia
many-
has 5,500. They're first place.
We could send one to every country like 50 times.
Oh my god! I was like, how many nukes to destroy the world?
Well, I mean, you're not gonna like just blow up the whole planet.
North Korea 50. China 500.
Like, I feel like North Korea has more than 50. Like, North Korea is super fucking secretive. How would you even know?
Yeah.
It's not like Kim Jong Un's gonna tell you straight faced.
Okay, I'm gonna blow that.
Iran estimated unknown though.
Yo,
What
yo,
was the
yo.
estimated
Okay,
number?
check this out. I don't. It's estimated that there are possibly around 19,000 to 22,000 nuclear warheads.
That's way more than this list
Someone's
lets on.
fucking
Yeah.
lying.
Yeah, they're lying. They're
So
lying.
someone's fucking lying because it's like, yeah, we have enough to destroy it.
Actually, we had a lot more in 2017. Like a lot of countries have gotten rid of.
But that's
a lot
what,
of nukes.
like, where do they go? Like, I doubt they just dismantle them. They put them somewhere in like storage.
turn
Like,
them into reactors. I don't know.
I doubt that though. Like, why would they do that?
Clean energy.
They don't give a fuck.
They do.
I don't know.
U.S. aircraft carriers use nuclear reactors.
Like, I get that, but I don't think they would use them for that. If they already have the nuke
If
built,
they're preparing for
like,
naval
really?
engagements with China, then
Can you even like
Seems like a wise
repurpose
investment.
the inside of a nuke? I don't-
So this is a
like,
Chinese thing.
I
So,
don't even know if it uses the same kind of fuel.
That's what I'm saying. I
but-
don't know.
so this is a Chinese thing. It says think China.sg, whatever the fuck that means. But basically, they're claiming, I can't really validate this, but basically they said about 100 atomic bombs can destroy about 2 billion lives. So
That's only.
if lowballing America,
I mean,
has-
that depends on what you're saying because, like, if you aim for like the most highly densely
yeah, I mean,
populated,
you're not just gonna nuke
like, if
the
you
empty-
drop like 3 nukes on fucking New Delhi, India, then yeah, you probably just killed 1 billion people. So, I mean, it depends on where you're fucking firing.
But I guess more what there's at least what I'm trying to get from that is just like area wise, like you just drop them like to where like you maxed range each nuke, you could just clear out 2 billion without really trying. Like drop it all over Africa, drop it over North America, drop it all over Europe.
Like if for some reason there is an equal spread of nukes.
I mean, but just
do
with
2 billion people even like live in Africa?
there's 1 billion in Africa.
There's 1 billion people in Africa.
Yeah, Africa's fucking huge.
A
I
billion?
know it's huge, but that's
A
only, it's like
billion?
really
billion-
widely spread out.
No, there's at least 1.6 or 1.5 billion in Africa. I wanna
That's
say.
crazy. I didn't know that.
It's pretty popular. Now they kill a lot of them pretty know.
Well, that
yeah.
means they're
no,
not
I'm
alive.
saying like I didn't
Oh
realize
yeah,
that because I know like
1.48 billion.
Yeah,
yeah, that's cool. I didn't know that. I thought it was like just because it's so like fucking spread out and everything. You know what I mean? I thought it just like wasn't very
I
densely
just thought people
populated.
didn't. Yeah, same.
That's crazy.
No, it's actually more.
I thought it'd be like all mainly around like coastal cities and stuff like that. Which I mean, I guess it probably still is. It's just like
Yeah.
more densely populated
Yeah.
there.
More densely populated than we
Because
thought.
you take not you take for granted, but like it's really hard to imagine the size of Africa. But Africa's the biggest
No,
continent.
no, because I know how
Yeah,
big it is. I'm just saying
yeah.
I didn't know like how densely populated it was.
Fair,
Because I know
fair.
like the middle doesn't have a lot of like cities and stuff. It's mainly on the coast.
But now, yeah, but in that context, if
continent's
the middle's
Asia.
that big, then when you push out to the coastal
yeah,
cities, you can fit more people.
That's what I'm
on.
saying. Yeah, I get that. But
Yeah,
like I said, like I don't know where they get these numbers from because there's no way everyone's being honest about their news.
There's no wow.
Because even like
I would
the
fucking lie.
even that 22,000 number, like they're estimating, but what are they basing that on? Because they're not telling you. For all you know, it could be fucking 100K.
Yeah, because I wonder if they're just saying like how many, like, because if you really get to the nitty gritty, you could like not you could do receipts, but you can at least like see where the uranium stockpiles are going. But okay, you have enough to make this many or something like that.
Are people who sell uranium like making that information public to where you can track it?
That I'm saying that you'd have to do some
I
like
guess they
dirty,
could.
You'd have to do some
Why
like
would they?
dirty work or something. I mean, you could probably steal the files, be an independent. I don't know, but I'm saying like
It'd probably be something that like
you have to mine for uranium, so obviously you could monitor the uranium mines.
maybe like the United Nations like audits different like uranium mines.
But then you're
or
still
something.
trusting them to tell the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
But that'd be part of the smart.
They have like the fucking North Koreans like push them like hush money to like lie about how much they're sending over there and shit. Like, yeah, like that would make sense.
something like that. Because I'll say like this. You already know how much it takes to run a nuclear reactor, so I doubt that like you would just magically miss like 3 tons of plutonium-232. You know what I
Like
mean?
major uranium producing countries:
Probably like Iran. Or,
Kazakhstan, Namibia, Niger, Russia, Canada.
so that's why they don't have nukes because
We're buying all this shit.
Because they already stockpiled their own. like, oh yeah, we can just make some in like a minute if we need it.
Yeah, they're like, I mean, America's like, you got a lot of that plutonium over there. Like, yeah, you can have it. As long as
That's what I was like, it cannot be that hard to build a nuke. Like I know you said like, oh, we don't have the resources.
it's
for it.
fairly hard. I mean, it's
That's
not
what I'm saying. We
easy.
figured out how to do that shit in the 40s, and we did it in like a year and a half.
Why do you need more than 4,000 nukes though?
In case you get attacked
Like,
by
what
every
if
country.
aliens
50
come,
times.
bro?
Like they can. Like I think you're right. They can build a lot of nukes if they wanted to.
What if you set one of them off on accident and you need another?
Oh my god.
Yeah, but why? I don't. Why would they have more than
To
4,000?
destroy the ozone, Darren.
You don't need 4,000.
I don't think they're blowing up the ozone with nukes.
I just my whole thing is like
you
this.
need 4,000 nukes to do
My
that.
thing is this: they fucking nuked Japan twice, and everyone was like, "Okay, that's the line." Like universally, since that happened 70 years ago, or 80 years ago now, we've all like unanimously agreed. Okay, that's the line in the sand where we don't cross because wiping out a city and making it uninhabitable for a couple of years is not cool.
But the funny thing is, they still went and made an H bomb like 10 years later.
Yes, you know.
So I mean, they're still making bigger
Just in
weapons than
case.
that. Yeah,
And then they made a couple of
they're like,
bombs.
oh, it's a deterrent. Like, okay, pal, all right, okay,
now let's go to space.
as a deterrent.
Aliens, you don't want to mess with us. We have nukes. Okay.
They pull up with a Death Star.
Is that a neutron laser?
Oh my god, they're
Turns off your
primitive.
gravity.
Oh no, nukes! And it's like the Homelander when he goes to Africa. He's like, oh shit.
They just like blow up our moon to make a point.
Yeah. We ended on a gloomy-ish note. It was insightful. We now know
We can make it
someone's
gloomier. You never know.
we know someone's clearly lying.
Yeah. We just solved all the world's problems and made 30 more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause who's hiding them? Is it under our house? Is it under yours, listener?
Tune in next week to the Scatcast where we find out where all these nukes went. We're gonna sit there and do the math, bust out the fucking protractor and shit. We're gonna find out where exactly all these nukes went, and then we're
The
gonna
guy
go.
with the suspiciously nuke-shaped mouth.
We're gonna go find the person who did it, and we're gonna confront them. I'm gonna drive to like, I don't know, Brazil. I don't know, wherever it is.
Kazakhstan.
It's probably just some redneck dude in like. I was trying to think of like a redneck place.
Arkansas?
Yeah, I sure Arkansas. This is some dude in Arkansas who just has that shit like under his house. Just put it in his crawl space.
Like he got it from like a friend who used to work with fucking Oppenheimer back in
It's
like
my
the
second
40s.
yeah.
He's like, well, you know,
I could see someone making that argument too. That's the funny thing.
It's actually legal to own a tank in
legal.
the U.S. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just have to replace the treads with rubber treads, so you don't destroy the roads.
No.
And also, the gun has to be disarmed.
I mean, of course. I can't blow someone up in traffic. That's okay, whatever. But
The thing is, they're not going to know it's disarmed until I fire it, though, so it's not going to matter.
real shit. Imagine like someone made fun of like your daughter or like your friend or something. You just pull tank up.
Imagine rolling up to like a president's rally or something in a tank. But I'm just exhibiting my rights.
Free speech. So all I need is just to make the treads rubber and then just put no mortars in my fucking tank.
I think you also need a Class D license for that.
Like a commercial driver's license. All right. Well, this has been a fun episode.
Oh, that was a good light note.
Helps out a little bit more. Appreciate you for listening. Hope you tune in next week. And that should be it. All right. See ya.